Yes, people, and welcome back to another DR Game Day watch along. And you are here to watch the Arsenal versus Chelsea. It's a London derby, so it's only right we have a house full of Londoners. In the blue corner, we have our man Tom for our first watch along. Actually, we've had you on a couple of Saturday football shows, but first watch along. Welcome. How are you?
Nervous, scared.
Yeah.
About to get bantered, probably.
Listen. It should be a good game regardless. But in the red corner, we got first watch along we're doing together as well. Nick, welcome, man. How are you?
What's going on, man? I'm good, man. I'm good.
How you feeling?
Quietly confident. I don't want to get overconfident, but we need to get our confidence back into the team. And if we're going to get our confidence back, get back to winning ways, this is the team to do it against.
Yeah. Listen, this is for me one of those. I feel like London derbies that there's always excitement in them, whether it's Spurs versus Chelsea, Spurs v Arsenal, Arsenal v Chelsea. There's always action in these games. But listen, guys, make sure you're getting involved in the conversation as well. Plenty of questions, throw them in. You know I love trivia as we go along. You know there's always goals when I'm here as well, so there's guaranteed to be goals tonight at some point. We'll go through the lineups very shortly, but doing our kind of first watch-alongs, I kind of just want to get you guys' thoughts on this game because man just popped up on our screen there, and I believe this you could call this the Mudryk derby if you like.
Oh no,
the
definitely
battle for
not.
the Ukrainian stepchild, if
Definitely
you like.
not. Definitely not.
Do you remember when Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio were the ladder match for Dominic? This is the ladder match for Mudryk. Because he should have been yours in January.
I think so. I was on this channel saying I don't want to get held hostage. There's a certain point when we walk away from a deal, and Chelsea have been spending outrageous money. Chelsea, City, maybe Newcastle next season. They're teams you don't get into bidding wars against.
Yeah.
And you know both our clubs have too much history to be defined by Mudryk. He ain't done enough yet to make this the Mudryk derby. I mean, that being said, it's written in the stars that either him or Aubameyang score against us 100%. It's written in the stars, bro.
We'll go through the lineups very shortly because both of those are playing today as well. I don't believe Mudryk is in the starting lineup, but he's in the squad. But what have you made of Mudryk so far? Because I feel like even though it's early on, some Chelsea fans I find are excited by what they've seen, the flashes, but then some are kind of a little bit, we expected more. Where do you kind of stand on it?
He's a rough diamond, and I think some people have let the fee overtake where the player is actually at in his development. Like, he's a very good player, and it's so clear he's got the ability to be a top player in the Prem, top player in Europe. But I think some people expected him to come over and be a world-class player right now, and that was never going to be the case, whether that was at Arsenal, at Chelsea, wherever he went. So I think, like, for me, he's been a bright spark in that I've seen flashes from Mudryk, and in a team that's so low on confidence, those flashes have been something to cling on to this season because there hasn't been much else. So for me, that would be...
Do you see enough flashes of a player there where you think, do you know what, even if maybe let's be honest, there's hardly been any player really that's been worth the 100+ million fees if we kind of look at them throughout world football. Yeah. But a player where you kind of see the flash and you think, do you know what, there's going to be a player who we can actually build our future around. Because I do feel like with the big money, as you said, Chelsea have spent, a lot of the signings have been younger ones, kind of in the under 24 range, if you like. And he's one of those, you feel like was one of the brightest prospects in Europe, was having a good Champions League campaign, did score against Madrid in the group stage as well. Internationally, he got a couple of call-ups. People were thinking, do you know what? We can kind of see the hype. But then as you guys became more interested, the fees started to go up, and then you guys got involved, and it just became, you know what? We can inflate this whole thing. But do you think, even if he doesn't live up to the fee, there can be a player you can build your future around?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. I think he's that player, but he has to be given time. And I look at what Arteta's done with Smith Rowe and Saka, for instance, and he said, every week you're playing, you're gonna play, you're gonna make mistakes. We are gonna develop you into a top player. And I feel like the next coach, and it's looking like it'll be Poch, has to do that with Mudryk. Because if he's not given chances and time and space to build into a player and find himself, I suppose, then he's not going to be the top player we need. So we're going to have to accept that there might be a little bit of, why did you pay this money for him? But actually, that will all be worth the investment that we put in the player to become a top talent for me with Mudryk.
And then I want to get your thoughts on this as well, because he's saying there, like, that's a big money signing who needs patience. You've had that situation with Nico Pepe when he came in for 75 mil.
Yeah.
Do you feel like at that time, I kind of think he wasn't maybe given the patience to grow into himself. But then from, if you say rival fans or even the media, it was like, hey, Pepe came for 75 mil. He better turn it on straight away.
Yeah.
So is it fair now that Chelsea fans are kind of calling for this patience of Mudryk, or should they expect quicker results?
I think when we were revising the history of Nicola Pepe, people are realising with Anthony coming in as a winger, Sancho coming in as a winger around the same sort of price mark, people were realising that actually he wasn't the flop that he was branded at the time. And similar to Mudryk now with Chelsea, he was in an underperforming team. I do think that Mudryk could have been more successful at our club because we're just a little bit more set up in recent years to bring this type of player in, to develop him. We had a lot of patience. You have to remember as well the fee. We were top of the table at the time, and we looked quite far ahead in the top of the table at the time. Plus, it was a January transfer. Were we still the Arsenal that was battling for top 4? Are we going to make Champions League or not? And it was a summer transfer that could have easily been half the price, but it was January transfer, getting him out of that club where he was their star man, player of the season for them the season before. All of those different factors drove the price up, and then ultimately Chelsea came in and obviously put money on the table. I think we bidded the same amount of money, but you guys had a more generous structure in terms of money up front, if I remember correctly. So
doubled his wages as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we both would have done that, to be fair. I think the wages he's on, we would have probably paid him similar wages. But also with Nicola Pepe, he came in under Emery, and then Emery lost his job. Very similar to Mudryk coming in, and then Graham Potter losing his job. So I do think he would have been a little bit more successful coming to us because of how our club was set up at that time. It would have been with other youngsters as part of that rebuild. But I think he's looked good. I think he's looked not necessarily good. He's missed a couple of chances, different, struggling for confidence, but you can see the abilities there, and you could definitely see why Arsenal were looking at him. But I definitely think that Pepe didn't hit the heights. Maybe there's a bit of a problem with attitude and football, kind of more playing style. He doesn't offer enough defensively like Saka and Martinelli do. But like I say, when we look at the numbers, I remember saying to my boys at the time, if he gets 15 goal contributions, that's what I'm looking for from him. And I think he did that, actually.
Yeah. And do you kind of agree with that, kind of fitting style-wise especially? I think even Mudryk's kind of playing style requires a big pitch, a lot of running space, if you like. And I feel like Stamford Bridge is actually one of the smaller pitches. Like, you guys are one of the more maybe compact teams as well, I would say. But do you feel like maybe he's a better fit for Arsenal than he would be at your club? Considering the amount of managerial turnovers you've had as well, there hasn't been kind of a clear identity or structure there as well.
I suppose I'm clinging on to the fact that our club wants to change, and that's been the best thing about this season. Amidst all the chaos, it's so clear our owners want to change what our club's been in the last years, because people say it, and we've not, our method of hire and fire hasn't been successful in the last 5 years. It's just not. We won the Champions League, but that's papered over everything poor that the club's done in that time. So somebody like Mudryk, for me, shows what the new approach is going to be, which is sign him on a nice long contract and give him time to really flourish as a player. And that's what I'm hoping to see, And I mean, you can say it ironically, but he's on an 8 or 9 year deal. Maybe we'll have a new stadium by that time. So maybe it'll be a bigger pitch for him.
It'll be a whole different situation. Well, listen, speaking of time, we've got about 20 minutes till kickoff, and let's just go through the lineup, shall we? Do you want to go run me through the Arsenal one? Yeah,
we've got a couple of changes in here, and which is exactly what we've been calling for. We've got Ramsdale in goal, White, Gabriel and Kivior at centre-back, both left-footed centre-backs, Zinchenko left-back, midfield of Jorginho as the anchor, Partey in the pivot, Odegaard as the 10, and we've got Saka, Trossard and Jesus. So,
what do you make of those changes? Kivior coming in for his first start in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken.
Listen, Chelsea is still Chelsea, regardless of how bad they're doing. That's a team of players that are off form and not quite gelling and all sorts. But that's a team of great players. That's a team that everyone will be using on FIFA next season. On paper, that's a great team. And Kivior, I was really excited about him coming in. I actually wanted Evan and Ndika, but we got Kivior instead. I really do rate him, but when he's come on, he's looked very shaky. And granted, we've brought him on possibly in some pretty poor moments. We brought him in when we're under the cosh, and we've asked him to do a big job. Rob Holding obviously, didn't cover himself in glory, but we know what he's going to do and what he's about. He did actually get a goal against Man City for what it's worth, and he struggled with one of the best strikers.
Kivior, I think it was the Liverpool game you're speaking on, isn't it? Where kind of under the cosh, is that kind of the moment to throw him in?
Exactly.
Tactically even change the team how you guys had set up, because he went
we like a passing centre-back, and we've got 2 left-footed centre-backs. So not only is he coming in under the cosh, but he's coming in to play slightly out of position. It's not a huge difference. It's still centre-back, but you're still not quite putting him in the comfortable position. Surely you would put Gabriel as your more experienced leader at the back out of position
on the right, yeah.
You know, and maybe let him do that job. But maybe you don't. Maybe you keep your best players in their best positions and you don't do that. Jorginho coming in against Chelsea, it's just set up for a storyline, isn't it?
I was going to say, do you feel like that's what has been a part of the scene? You know, that
I was furious when we got him over, not instead of Caicedo, because Brighton just weren't letting Caicedo go. But when we got Jorginho, I wasn't happy. You know, he was a strong lover of Chelsea. Can't really stand Chelsea as a club. I like you, but can't really stand the club, to be honest with you. And I was absolutely livid. But when he has come on, and again, my biggest criticism of Arteta this season is not using his bench enough. But when Jorginho's come on, he's looked very, very tidy. You know, he's got us playing. He's scored some great goals, and he just keeps us ticking. So I am, you know, and Partey's been pretty shocking last couple of games, if we're honest. So this is the change we wanted to see, and then obviously the last change is Trossard coming in to cover Martinelli, and obviously Martinelli and Saka have run themselves into the ground this season, but I really did want to see Martinelli running against Azpilicueta after we knew that he was going to be starting this game. He's got a good track record against Chelsea, and with the legs of Azpilicueta starting to fail him a little bit, you know, I thought Martinelli would definitely do a job.
What have you made of kind of Trossard as well since he's come in? Because he's had moments where maybe the first 4 or 5 games you thought, whoa, we maybe got more than we got our money's worth. Where you were kind of so disappointed with Jorginho. I don't think Arsenal fans were as disappointed with Trossard, because you could see he was still quality this season at Brighton, getting hat-tricks.
And to be fair, on the Jorginho thing, I was wrong as well. Both of those guys were great contingency signings, which is not things that we typically associate with my club. We often struggle to get the first player. That's pretty Arsenal. But then we don't really have a good quality backup plan. But we went and got 2 seasoned Premier League pros as backup. So I was quite impressed. And like you say, he's been really good when he's come on. He had an outrageous goal disallowed. I can't remember who it was against. Might have been United. He scored an absolute banger. It was disallowed for offside. But again, with Arteta's squad rotation, when Trossard's been on form and he's looked really sharp, he hasn't built on that. He's kind of allowed him to go cold, and if you've got players, especially attackers, that are on good form, you want them to be in the game as much as possible. And, you know, I always call for him to make subs sort of between 45 and 60. He doesn't do it, and he's a little bit reactive rather than proactive. And I'm going to be interested to see now how early he brings on Martinelli, because you know, that's going to if he brings Martinelli on at half time or something like that, if we're playing well, that will be a real show of sort of favouritism. I think, you know, Trossard definitely deserves some minutes.
You look at Arsenal's bench though as well, it's actually quite a bit of depth you got there as well. You look at Tierney, who was formerly a starter, Partey, Smith Rowe, Vieira, Nketiah, Martinelli and Nelson, of course. But maybe more
it's a reasonably healthy bench. There's definitely room for improvement. You know, it remains to be seen whether we'll be title winners or not, but we've been title contenders for most of the season. And you think, listen, there are a couple of purchases that need to be made, but we're not far away. Do
you want to run us through the Chelsea lineup?
Oh, well, I will say though, you talk about, you know, big risk starting Chilwell, but you forget that we can't score. So you're probably guaranteed a clean sheet tonight. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's not such a bad time to play him. But yeah, we start with Kepa in goal. Lots of complaints about him in the fan base, but he does keep his place. I think Frank perhaps wants to avenge what he did the first time, where he dropped Kepa whenever he made a mistake. So he's trying to give him a go. Aspi at right back, and it's a 4-3-3 today for Chelsea. So a bit more ambition from Frank than what we've seen. Aspi at right back.
No, Rishame's injured?
He's injured at the moment. I think it's quite likely he's probably going to have to do some surgery, which is a bit of a shame.
Was he brought back a little bit too early, do you reckon, possibly?
I think there's a chance, but you forget that when we brought him back, there was still a top 4 battle. There was still
desperate times, I guess, calls for desperate measures. There
were still Champions League chances, and we didn't really have a backup in a 4. Aspi's just not all there anymore, sadly. Fofana and Silva in the back 2, I think that's pretty much as solid as we could do. Maybe Badiashile, there was an argument he could have come in, just provide a bit more pace when we're playing a back 4. We've got Chilwell at left back, then I'd say a pretty strong midfield 3, Enzo, Kante, Kovacic.
Is that kind of your preferred midfield 3, would you say? I feel like it's probably the maybe most well balanced, if you like that.
I suppose, but I think there's slight concern that there's a lack of attacking threat there. I think for a game like this, we're so low on confidence, it's probably quite nice to have a little bit more defensive minded. But I suppose that if you're looking at our 3 best midfield players, then those would be our 3. Enzo, I think, has played every single game since he's been transferred in January.
What have you made of him so far? So he's obviously spoken on a few of his January signings, but I feel like he's probably been the one that Chelsea fans were most excited to get, but then has also maybe been delivering the 7 out of 10s where everybody's been way below par, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, certainly till about, I would say, 3-4 weeks ago, I would completely agree. I mean, he's class. And you can tell when he plays, he's got that kind of aura about him. And as a young player, somebody that's come from Argentina into Benfica, I mean, spends 6 months there and gets a 100 mil move, and he's still been our best player in what's been a terrible season. I think the last few weeks, the lack of confidence of the team's kind of dragged his level down.
Yeah.
So he's not been putting in those 7s recently, I would say. But he's going to be a class player for us going forward. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And then the front 3. Madueke, Sterling, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
I feel like that front 3 is probably the most debated position amongst Chelsea fans over who they want. 1 week it's Havertz, next week it's Modric, then it's Felix, then it's Ziyech. You don't know which one you're going to get, but today you've obviously got former Arsenal man Aubameyang. Do you think, especially considering the first game, I remember the guys had all scored and they were all celebrating. Yep. They almost did their Martin Keown to Van Nistelrooy style on him again. And you thought, hey, they really got their lick back. But this is an opportunity for him who has been out of the team pretty much for most of the season. Yep. And now he's got an opportunity. You know what? Let me make amends, if you like. But are you happy to see him there?
Yeah, at least it's a front 3. I mean, Chelsea have been playing a 3-6-1 recently. At least we're actually seeing
formations.
At least we're seeing some attacking players. Yeah. That for me is enough. I mean, there's a lot of talk that people wanted Mudryk in the team, as we've already been talking about. But I think I'm just relieved to see 3 attacking players in a 4-3-3. Just give them space. And Aubameyang, I think perhaps for this game, of any, just throw him in. I mean, I've been very much saying for a while, don't play players that won't be here next season. But I think I can make an exception tonight. I think it's worth a punt. And it's not like we have a lot of number 9s that we can use. I mean, our other one's not even on the bench, David Fofana.
Yeah.
So
what is the story with him? Because he came in as like he could be the new Drogba type of thing. And the videos we kind of saw of the Norwegian league, if you like, but it seemed decent. You thought there was some raw ability there, but he got a game or 2 and then it's just...
And he played all right. He played all right in those 2 games. But I think he was, again, brought in, and it was very much a, shall we loan him out for the rest of the season, or do we give him a chance? And we had no number 9, so I think they wanted to keep him. And he was given, a sort of half here and there, came off the bench, but he's played some youth games, I think, underwhelmed a little bit. So they're very much looking at him again as one for the future, perhaps not one for this season.
Maybe next season, get him more involved.
Yeah, have him on the bench, but I think more likely he probably goes on loan next year, maybe bring him in the year after. I think he's still a young lad.
Vitesse trip to Holland.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, I thought they were folding this season, actually. I heard stories about that.
Yeah. I think there were stories that Roman Abramovich, his mate, ran it, and actually Roman was basically the one just pumping all the money in. So I think they're under investigation or something for that.
Classic Chelsea.
I want to ask you about another man in that front line, Raheem Sterling, this season. Came in as like a marquee signing, I felt like, in the summer. Before all the mania of signings kind of kicked in, he was seen as like he's going to make the difference. It was a new lease of life for him, leaving Man City. I've proven myself. I've become a winner. I've put up numbers in consistent years. England, I'm now doing my thing. It's time for me to go to a club and take the main mantle. Do you feel like this season he's lived up to that, if you like? Or do you feel like he's maybe been even given a platform to do that?
No, see, for me, he's not been great. I mean, it's clear that if he did, people would be talking about it. But Chelsea have just not helped him in any way. I think the 3-5-2 we played a lot just does not suit him, and we've not given him a chance to really show what he's all about. Even the 3-4-2-1, he's playing in a role that's just not suited to him, and that's why I'm perhaps more reluctant than most to actually blame him and say, he's a flop, he's terrible. I don't think he is. I think we've just, as a club, it's been probably the wrong move for the player, actually, if I'm being honest.
What do you think his best role would be? Because at City was almost like the 4-3-3 coming off the left and kind of, if you like, sitting at the back post, picking his moments, timing his runs. But you guys don't seem to play that, and you've also been we've been speaking on Mudryk, who that's his kind of predominant position. So, how do you get the best out of Sterling?
That's it. I mean, you got it in one. That was where I was thinking we'd play him, and I think what Chelsea do is we buy a player that can play in the middle, and you watch him and you see, oh, Pep played him in the middle, and we decide to play him there every week. And it's like we've done it with Havertz, we've done it with Felix. It's just like, don't do that. That's not his preferred position. And I think you Fuad, mate, you've described it perfectly. That's how I think most Chelsea fans wanted him to play, and just hasn't happened, sadly.
That's crazy. I want to get your thoughts on Aubameyang quickly as well before we do some predictions. What do you make of him kind of coming back? Are your feelings as an Arsenal fan like, my hands are washed of Aubameyang, or do you actually remember him for what he kind of did? Because he did come in at a time when chips were down, he came in, he gave some life, gave you lot a potent front man you lot could actually be proud of, because I felt like Lacazette came in those first 6 months and wasn't really delivering. But then what he went on to kind of do the next 2.5 years was incredible. But the way he went out was crazy. And obviously he's come back to Chelsea kind of forcibly, you know.
Listen, not
it's just business.
To be fair, they asked him to say that, but not to be like too like philosophical. But you have relationships all through your life with friends or romantic partners, and things start off really well. You have great relationships with them, and then it falls apart at the end. And I feel 50-50 on him. You know, I have no hate towards the man. He is, and you're seeing it again with Chelsea. He's a great transitional striker. He was that for Barcelona. He may well be that for Barcelona again, because it's looking like he's going to go back. He's always got goals in him. He's quick, you know, he can pull something out. But when we were struggling to get top four and we was making that push and getting a lot of goals and stuff, he was great. But when it comes to really knuckling down, he's not really a leader in the dressing room. You know, he's not what you're going to need in the dressing room long term for Chelsea at the moment with so many young players. You guys are in a very similar situation to where we were. And he's not somebody that likes responsibility. We made him the captain to stay. I thought that was a mistake at the time when we gave him his new contract. And I think giving him the contract, but having senior players, obviously we had problems with Xhaka here, so he couldn't be captain. But I think he needed a captain to have a hand on his shoulder, someone that was a bit of a buffer between himself and Arteta, because Arteta is quite strict as disciplinarian. He's got a lot of young players that are very impressionable. So for us to get back to the top, we really needed a lot of discipline. And Aubameyang's just not a disciplined guy. You know, we see so many football mavericks, you know, so many the streets will never forget type ballers. And he will fall into one of those categories 5-10 years from now of the streets will never forget when he did this, that and the third. But he's not a real
semi-final.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? But he's just not a real dedicated professional and a leader at that moment. Do you know what I mean? So it's great memories from him, and you know it's no hate. It's sad how it went out, and he even apologized himself and said he was hurt and he was frustrated at that time, and he lashed out at his barbers, and maybe he shouldn't have said those things and all that. So you know, that being said, I'm confident he'll score against us today, because that's just how things go. But
People forget that Arteta might well just owe his job to Aubameyang. I mean, 100%. Had he not won that FA Cup, I think there might be a very different.
I think they owe each other, because you know the only thing that Aubameyang's won in England is that FA Cup. So that's you know.
I guess you could say
they've helped
kind of hand in hand.
Yeah, they've helped each other out. You know, it's a mutual relationship, and I think Arteta, as much as he did help him save his job, you're right, he also, you can make the argument that he kind of betrayed him, because when he turned around to him and said, listen, I need you to be here on time, we've got a bunch of young players, let's all go to the top together, he just wouldn't do it.
No,
you know? So
that's true. That is true.
Well, listen, before we get into some predictions real quickly, let me read out some super chats. We got Clara Bitsy says, we have Ty Light on the panel tonight. And then Matt Kearney sends in
He's on the TV. He's on the TV right now.
Who's that? There he is. Matt Kearney sends in a super chat. See, this is the kind of super chat I love. Send plenty of these throughout the stream, please. And like the stream if you're enjoying it as well as you're coming in, as we're going along as well. Get the likes up if you can. Currently got over 800 of you in here. But the super chat says, let's say all the management team come down with food poisoning just before the match. Who do you feel from your squad could manage the squad for a full 90 minutes? One name is all I want.
On his best day, it would probably be the boy.
Because your squad is pretty young.
It's the boy Granit Xhaka. On his best day, on his best days are amazing.
You trusted him
his worst days are just horrendous. Like
this could be a 2-0 comfortable win or a 4-0.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It'll be 4-0 either way with Granit Xhaka, but it'll be entertaining all the way to the end. So yeah.
Who are you going for?
I'd say Thiago Silva, but I don't think he can speak English fully. So I'm actually going to say Ben Chilwell of the team tonight. I think he's turning into a bit of a leader. So
I wasn't expecting that one actually. I would have maybe even expected Azpilicueta, but Chilwell.
I thought maybe Kovacic, seasoned professional.
Yeah, true. Both have been captain. Both have been captain in the past.
Just as the players are coming out in the tunnel as well, let me get your predictions real quick. Guys, send in your predictions as well. I'll try and read out a couple of those. Nick, hit me.
Oh, I'm going to jinx myself, but 4-1, man. We're back to winning ways. Frank is being more ambitious, but against a team that does like to score goals at home, so I'm going to go 4-1.
I'm going to say, Nick, thank you for saying we're going to score a goal. My confidence in this team is so low, I don't think we can score a goal. So I'm actually going to say 3-0 to Arsenal.
Oh, my God. Similar
to
aggregate.
Arsenal. Oof. I'm probably going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win. I think it should be a comfortable... The problem is I don't know.
If they're going to turn it up...
I'm changing it. I'm going 2-2. Chelsea have a tendency to be party poopers when it least matters.
Exactly.
Aubameyang starting today.
This is when Aubameyang scores.
There's just something in this game.
I don't see how we're going to score.
Yeah.
You guys don't have an attacking midfielder, which is the only worry, but your midfield isn't bad. We are also struggling for confidence. We got both teams that need to change how things have been going for the last few games. And I think there's too many storylines. It's Kivior at the back. It's Aubameyang. It could even be Mudryk off the bench. I could see bloody Zinchenko grabbing up Mudryk.
2-2 I'm going for sure.
There's too much going on.
100%.
Bite your hand off for a 2-2, mate. I would shake on that right now.
Because as you said, I just feel like Arsenal at the moment are just going through the motions a little bit, trying to find their feet. If Chelsea can find the Chelsea of old, so if there's still
there's so much talent in that team. It's crazy what I'm seeing. But
what's the song, Fuad? Yesterday, it seems so far away. And that's how it feels right now with Chelsea. I don't know where that Chelsea of old is.
The moment Frank gets Mudryk start warming up, I want Arteta to go, Martinelli, come in. Start warming up as well, straight away.
Over 1,000 of you have voted in the poll as well for the pre-game predictions. Gone for an Arsenal win. Do you want to guess the percentage?
70%.
I go more. I go like 85.
No, 54%.
Oh, these men are not rated. They're all your fans.
Win. It's all your. You'd be surprised. This is normally dominant Arsenal.
Someone can be nice to me on here, right?
And then a draw, 17% there as well. And funnily enough, in the last 3 Premier League games, the home team has always lost in this fixture. Arsenal winning at the Bridge earlier in the season in November. End of last season of April, 4-2 win, of course. And then you won 2-0 at the Emirates last year. So it's got party pooper tendencies, this fixture, do you know what I mean? So I don't know, there's definitely an interesting game here. Guys, make sure you're getting involved as we're going along the stream as well, sending your comments, sending your super chats, and like the stream as you're going along as well. Try and get the likes up if you're enjoying the stream. Gareth sends in another super chat as well. He says, with the way football goes, I can see Oba sinking Arsenal. This match is arguably more meaningful compared to the City game. Chelsea are cornered.
People say something though. If Arsenal win a penalty, I'll be absolutely bricking it for Jorginho to. It would be Jorginho.
The J jump.
I don't know if it would be. It'd probably be Saka.
Oh, that's
missing that last one.
Well, Arteta immediately said afterwards he will be on the next penalty. And Jorginho is a sub, so I think it'd be Saka. I think our pecking order would be Saka and then Jesus would be, because Jorginho doesn't play that often, so I don't think he would be the go-to penalty taker, being
he's
someone
a
that's not.
Specialist. He's the best of them, I think.
Yeah, I think, again, like, similar type of thing, he's not giving that responsibility to people that are not going to be in the team maybe next season. And this is the problem that he has. Sometimes he thinks too much about the long-term project and not enough about the here and now.
Do you think Jorginho won't be at Arsenal next season?
I'm not sure. I'm hearing rumblings that we're going to look for other alternatives, and so
maybe he goes back to Italy. And we're off.
Let's go.
The game has kicked off.
Why do we never take centre at home?
Way.
Why did we never take centre at home? If we took centre at home, with the way the Bournemouth game started and with the way who else scored against us straight away? Southampton game started.
Like a FIFA
actually, that's a good point, actually.
That's 2 times you haven't taken centre from home.
Sterling early on the left. Ooh, slip through maybe.
Okay.
Terrible pass
Go on,
out.
Enzo, have a go.
Terrible pass out. Here we go.
Oh,
That's lovely.
Saka already on the break here.
This is
He can cook Chilwell. They haven't doubled up on Saka, which they normally do. They've left him one-on-one.
Oh, he's cutting in.
Us playing a 4 worries me in that regard.
Oh, Kante's missing the ball completely.
Look at that transition. Arsenal shooting up. We haven't got a back. We haven't got a back 3 to protect our quite aggressive wing backs or full backs.
That's normally why Saka's quiet. They normally put 2 players on him. If you're going to leave Saka up against Chilwell for the full 90 minutes, he will cut in and he probably will score or at least start getting shots on target because he does. Chilwell's a good player. I rate him, but Saka is pretty good when in a 1v1 situation.
Let me just read some of these predictions. Safe says 1-0 Chelsea win. FJT says 2-2. Ryan says 4-1 Arsenal.
Come on, Ryan.
David Bowl says Chelsea 1-0. Gareth says 2-1 Chelsea. Some quite a lot of Chelsea wins. Yeah,
these people can't be Chelsea fans because the way we play.
They're just positive. They're just positive.
Do you know what it is? These are humbled Arsenal fans, is what I think it is.
There's no Arsenal fan that's predicting that we're losing to Chelsea at home. There's no way.
Hey man, after that title defeat, it's a defeated mentality.
It's not over. It's not over. It's not over till it's over. I mean, that's what this game's going to tell us. Do we believe, whether we're in the fight or not? Do we believe that we're in the fight, or do we not believe that we're in the fight? That's what this game's going to tell us.
Question, I forget. If City win their 2, it's 2 games in hand, isn't it?
It will be after this game.
How many clear are they?
Ben White with a lovely cross back post.
Someone's got a battle for that.
Nice. Is it just 1 point clear they'll be?
They're 1 point clear now, but they've still got an extra game in hand, so they could be 4 points clear if they win that.
Yeah, that's quite. I mean,
it's tough. It is tough.
Maybe if we still have to play them, but I have no faith.
Andrew Green says we are not Chelsea fans. We just want carnage.
You're
just like me, bro.
Yeah. I'm glad he's confirmed because I couldn't believe that would be a Chelsea fan based on how we're playing this season. Like, so many home games you go to and you just walk out and they're giving you absolutely nothing to be positive about. So.
Marcus Rashford sends a comment as well. He says, was just finishing off SDS and Fuad is here too.
Bro's everywhere.
Industry plant.
I'm everywhere. Certain energy drinks also global on the advertising hoardings.
It's that old Primey.
I haven't tried it yet myself.
About £100,000 a bottle.
Top Bowley can buy me one.
And the orange one for the first time the other day. It's alright. It's just like a normal Lucozade, to be fair.
Oh, decent. I'll just buy a Lucozade then for £1.
Literally. Same thing.
We've got through 3 minutes without conceding, so this is strong. This is really
Chelsea fan, Nick.
Hold on. No, you sound like a Spurs fan. If anyone knows 100%. About being 2 goals down in 5 minutes, it's me, bro.
You man judged us. You man lost on purpose and put that energy over it all across North London. A dark cloud on all North London football.
Don't blame us.
All of London football.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Roy Hodgson, the only one doing us proud in London at the moment.
Hey, Roy Hodgson. Woy. Listen. Don't make me. Where's
not there
my
anymore.
frame picture, man? You see Uncle Woy in the back there, man. Don't play with Uncle.
It's a great ball over the top. This is what we haven't done enough. We just don't go direct enough.
Oh, Aspie leaves it! Oh my God, yo, Xhaka.
Let's get a shot off here. Let's get a shot off.
I think we got it set now.
What was Aspie thinking there?
Well done.
And now Chilwell tries to break away.
Chelsea on the counter potentially.
We haven't scored a counter-attacking goal in 2 seasons, by the way.
Well, here comes Kante, and he goes backwards.
As you'd expect him to do. Great tackle. Great
monstrous tackle from Gabriel.
He's so good. I don't care what anyone says. He's so good. And look, he's going to kick it out and be a good sportsman. I absolutely wouldn't do that, but fair play to him.
Scored at the bridge as well, the winner. Yeah. True, Big Sam.
Do you think the last couple of weeks performances have dipped a little bit with him? West Ham gave away the penalty. Liverpool wasn't as great, maybe.
Yeah, yes and no. But centre backs are about partnerships. His partner is not there. He's playing with a new player and a new player who is nowhere near the level. You can't expect him to deliver the same type of performances.
Do you not feel though sometimes like those top centre backs? Let's say like we want to put Gabriel in that bracket with those. He's the best in the league, let's say.
Yeah.
When we said that about Virgil, when we said that about Thiago Silva, they improved those guys around him. And
Agreed.
That was one of the things like you would actually say, no, Thiago Silva has improved Rudiger. But Virgil van Dijk has improved Virgil van Dijk has improved Joe Gomez.
I mean, listen, we've got Rudiger, Gomez and Holding. It's a big drop.
Okay,
It's a big drop.
I hear it.
And to be fair, I don't think I would at this moment in time put Gabriel in that conversation of a Thiago Silva and a Van Dijk. He has the potential to get there, but I would certainly would. This is the first time he's even been in the top 4. That was a terrible pass out from Zinchenko. Right. This is the first time he's even been in the top 4 since he signed for Arsenal. So I certainly wouldn't be putting him up there with people that have won leagues and Champions Leagues and things like that. Definitely not. He's good. He's young. He's got potential, but I wouldn't put him in that world elite just yet.
Yeah.
Arsenal's press is just relentless.
Oh my God, Chelsea just seeming to lack any kind of creativity in that final third.
Before we got Gabby Jesus, I actually really wanted us to get Raheem Sterling, and now I'm seeing Sterling and Aubameyang play together just for Chelsea.
It's funny that we wanted Jesus, and it was Thomas Tuchel that said no.
Yeah.
So it's a funny old world, isn't it?
Exactly.
But I just think at the moment it just shows Arsenal how good they are as a pressing machine, and Chelsea just don't have the shape, the answers, anything.
It's okay at the moment because like we've got the squad and we've got a relatively strong bench. But when it's a terrible pass out,
Fofana?
And now here Arsenal come.
Odegaard unable to get the pass away.
But yeah, when you lack a bench and you're running a lot of these legs, like we saw, we talk all the time with Klopp about burnout. Players are going to get burned out if you're playing that type of style.
And that's what Liverpool have done.
Exactly.
That's what's happened to. I feel like to play that way, you have to be bringing in new signings for the first every year. You have to do what City do, and people say it's kind of excessive, but I'm not sure it is, given that Pep phases in and phases out players all the time, and
exactly that.
It's very difficult to keep the same core of players playing like this. You're right.
Zinchenko just on the left here. Chelsea very sloppy in possession every time they seem to try and play at the back, it seems.
We've also been fairly sloppy, but we've been really good at winning back the second ball. So when we do make a mistake, it doesn't cost us the same way that it hasn't cost Chelsea yet, but we haven't lost possession the same way.
Arsenal. I was talking.
It's a great pass from Kante.
Talking to an Arsenal fan earlier that man for man, the two teams might be fairly similar, but Arsenal play as a unit and Chelsea just play as 11 individuals, and that's why we're so bad on the ball.
Yeah.
Because there's absolutely no patterns, there's no...
But you have a whole new team. I mean, I read that, and I thought, when I read it, I thought it was on one of these Twitter banter pages, but it's serious. It's a great ball through from Jorginho. Can we get a corner out of that?
Well
goal
done,
kick.
Thiago Silva.
And Thiago Silva's now down as well.
Though, you talk about also Thiago with regards to improving the guys around him. To be fair, I think when he's played in a 4 at Chelsea, he's not been perhaps the player that some think he's been. I mean,
come on, man, he's 37.
Come
on, man, give the groins a break.
Absolutely. I love.
So for me, if you're going to play him in a back 4, I question you as a manager.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like part of the reason why Chelsea even switched to a back 3 was for him. We're getting an old Thiago Silva. Let's try and protect him as much as we can. And do you know what? He can probably bring the best out of guys who aren't really delivering, like Christensen and Rudiger. Because when they were in the back 4 together, they looked like two, inexperienced newbies, basically.
And also another player tonight playing on the other side, Jorginho. I think the 3-4-3 helped him hugely, actually. And that's why perhaps I was a bit surprised. He Arsenal poached him, but then he did play well in a 3 under Sarri. You have to have the right players next to him. Fine with Jorginho.
And you can see that Arteta's not a huge fan. I think he's been very good, but you can see Arteta's not a huge fan because no matter what Partey does, until that last abysmal game against City, he very, very rarely gets dropped or rotated unless he's injured. That's the only time Jorginho's come in is when Partey is injured. So you can see that he's not exactly what the mould of what Arteta wants, but you've got to work with what you've got, and you can't be a diva.
Lovely little touch here.
Shaka's annual banger, terrible touch.
Kante doing Kante
bad touch,
things,
just letting it get away from him in a good position there.
That's just that. See, I just don't get that because he just hoofs it up for Aubameyang, but there's no one there supporting him. So who's he going to knock it down to?
Yeah. The issue that you guys have got as well is in this midfield 3 that you've got three great footballers, but no natural number 10 or natural nor more attacking. So that leaves you without a pressing midfielder as well. So with Odegaard, he sets our press. As our number 10, he sets the press. So that gives our midfield a lot of time to just to play football when they've got it.
And that's the argument for Mason Mount playing for us.
Exactly.
There's been issues with his
contract,
and I think injury as well.
Apparently we're looking at him.
I mean, to be fair, we've used to good effect that sort of more defensive midfield 3. I think Sarri used it a little bit, and we've had Tuchel use it. I mean, It's possible. Like, it's done some stuff before, but I completely take your point. I would agree.
You'd need attackers that are creative. So I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Xhaka here on the left,
being behind.
cuts it back. Great block.
I wouldn't mind that if you had someone like if you've got like a Felix that's going to play in that front three. He's more creative. He can drop in, receive, turn, get you guys away. He can play in between two roles. Whereas the three you've got on now are just straight pacing behind. So there's going to be a big gap between that midfield three and that.
Do you think that's a plan to maybe play on the counter today, though, knowing you're away to Arsenal? If they're going to come, and it seems like the first 10 minutes or so, you guys are pressing very high up and putting a lot of pressure on them. But then that pace to have that on the counter, Madueke, Sterling, Aubameyang,
get out in the box.
Get on your bikes.
It's interesting.
Lovely whip back post,
not enough.
Too high.
It's the opposite of what we did away and at home against Madrid, where actually we did have two players leading the press, but it wouldn't be the players you'd think. He actually played Kante in a more advanced role, leading that press to stop them playing out.
Yeah.
But I think what Lampards probably thought is Arsenal are that good at playing out, we're not going to stop them doing it. So maybe we do play a more deep midfield. I mean, maybe he thinks he's a Jose Mourinho. He's a next reincarnation of Jose. So
we've got to get 10 minutes in now. We've got to get some shots. Chelsea really sloppy with the passing and the clearing. It keeps going to Arsenal players, and we've got a lot of possession, but we're not really doing quite enough with it in terms of getting clean opportunities, even shots on target. We saw Xhaka's one where he took a bit of a missed touch. You know, so it's not terrible, but they're definitely they need to up the levels now.
Do you know, I always feel like as well with, no offense, but with Kepa in goal, first 10 minutes, you just got to, I will tell my players, listen, I need 2 shots minimum on target within the first 10 minutes. I don't care which one of you. If you get an open sight, shoot. Just test it.
It's Kepa.
It's a tester. Yeah. We're going to test the temperature to see.
Especially with Granit Xhaka on the pitch. He gives us an annual banger every year, and we're still waiting for him to cash in his annual banger chip.
It'll be tonight. It'll be tonight. Because
we need it.
The thing is, Kepa, you can, even when he has a good game and he'll make some saves to keep us in a game, that long shot is always there. And that's why there's no chance, even on good form, you can keep him as your keeper, because he's just
great ball. Reliable. Really nice ball.
Is that foul?
Nah, it's straight up.
Harsh if it
is. Still getting it out. You lot are not letting Chelsea breathe.
Well, now we're letting them breathe.
Counter attack now. Got bodies if he can switch it.
Unlucky.
It's a really poor pass.
Break it up again.
Actually, I must say, I'm actually beginning to appreciate it. I quite like that we're playing quite compact at the moment, but
you need to get back now. That's the thing.
Famous last words, probably, when we get beaten 5-0. But
you can see a player in Sterling lacking confidence. He's up against Ben White. Should really be running him. Decides not to. Tries to make a pass. And he's not a terrible passer, but that's not his real strength. He's got loads of pace. He should be.
Look, there's just lack of options when Kante is on the ball. That's just not good, man.
That pass is still terrible. Options or no, it's a terrible pass. And now we've got to create from here.
Saka on the edge here.
You can't leave Saka one-on-one.
Poor touch.
Poor touch, That could have been on the floor from Jorginho. That could have been slid through on the floor. But we're there. We're just on the edge.
See, I think, do you know what? I think that phase there is playing the game how I think Frank wants it to be played. Because I think that block, that 4-4 block, is absolutely fine. I think where Arsenal will get us is when we advance like we did just there, you've got to get us on the counter and you'll absolutely have us on toast, in my opinion.
Like in a position there.
It's not got the pace. We'll take the corner, though.
He's done well there.
He's done well to put it out for a throw in there.
I think, is it? But you see, that's where I think Arsenal will eat us for breakfast.
See, Wesley Fofana, man, that's a special player there, man, I'm telling you.
He's very good.
He is going to be one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League for a long time in my eyes.
Let's get across in the box now.
Let's get across in the box.
Oh, my God, there we go. Saka, head up. Comfortable.
Oh, no, he spilled it. He spilled it.
Jesus, no. Second by the cherry, not enough.
If we conceded there, that's just criminal.
That is Arsenal's first big chance, you would kind of say. Half chance, maybe.
Definitely.
See, I'd love
That's what I mean. Just test Kepa. He's liable to just not hold on to it.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean? There is.
Exactly. But even from a defender's...
That's a comfortable header in my eyes. You should be captain.
That's bread and butter.
Even from a defender's perspective, Saka, who's a winger, should not be beating a defender in the air and getting his head on that ball.
No.
But, I'm happy that it happened. But.
Yeah.
See, I'm interested to see how Chelsea try and play out from the back here, because it's so clear that we're quite weak at it. And Potter tried to get us doing it, but we would make so many mistakes. It's all right at the moment, though.
Listen, being a North London derby, yeah. Obviously, you guys got the 600 million squad. You guys are top of the table. Huh?
North London derby.
No, I didn't say. Did I say North London?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I meant London derby. I'm so used to, I guess. I forget you guys.
You are sat next to an Arsenal fan. Yeah.
But obviously, 650 million spent. Top of the league, secondly best squad. Oh, you know, I'm getting used to that still. I'm getting used to that. But let's do a combined 11. I was going to say. I think it's actually a good time to do it. Maybe. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I think the question is how many Chelsea players get into the Arsenal team. That's the question. Sterling's just turned Ben White so easily, and it's a poor pass again.
There's no end product there.
It's a poor pass. They obviously. Do you know what it is? This is what happens. This is new for them, right? You guys haven't been playing 4-3-3. It's new for them, so it's not really an excuse because they're professional footballers, but. Chilwell's not really expecting that ball. That little bit of communication just isn't quite there because that was exactly what you guys needed.
And that's our fear. There's just no patterns in our play, and it's been the same under Potter, under Lampard.
Yeah.
But because we don't have a way we play, and then Potter tried with the back four, and he had to give up because the results were so bad and go back to a 3 and then to a 4, and we just can't.
We can keep changing managers though. It's hard to get a little bit of a consistent ideology, I guess, but.
How many Chelsea players do you think get into the Arsenal team?
Okay, then let's switch up. Let's do it based on ability, shall we?
For this season or overall?
Overall.
Okay. We might get smoked in this, by the way.
To be fair,
the parameters can change very quickly.
I think that actually, when you frame it like how many Chelsea players will get into the Arsenal team, I actually think that there are a fair few. Like, I don't think it would be like 1 or 2. I think there'd be more than 1 or 2.
That's a great ball. What
a
goal! Oh my
God!
My captain, Oh my word!
It's that long shot.
He's needed it. To be fair, he's come right off the underside of the crossbar. We can't even. What a banger! Who just did that? I think it's Trossard or Jorginho. I think it's probably Trossard. He's got down the left wing, cut back, and he's rolled it right along the 18-yard box. And Odegaard with the R1 finesse. Do you know what I'm saying? Only left footers can do that, I did that last night, Monday football, Sunday Power League. Come and chat to me. Do you know what I mean? But listen, left foot finesse.
I can't lie to you. That is a clean finish. I always love a crossbar and in a post and in. They always look nice. But the one thing you got to see is. Is that Jorginho with the assist? Xhaka with the assist. Xhaka with the assist, and he just guides it, doesn't he? He just guides that straight back. But not even the finish. Look at his movement. Because the centre back is following him, and he just drops 2 yards just to be like, you know what? Let me get a pocket of space. That gives him.
Kepa actually gets fingertips to it.
He should tip that over. Probably.
No, I think that's unfair.
Maybe let's see.
I think that's a little bit unfair.
Maybe I'm being mean. Okay,
no, I think that's unfair.
I don't know. Kepa's got to do better there, my stronger wrist, fella.
He's stepping to his left. He has to jump back to the right.
Probably. I don't know about that one.
Ifs, buts, and maybes, isn't it? But
1-0. Arsenal have taken the lead.
So if the first 18 minutes have told us anything, Ramsdale gets in over Kepa, yeah?
Yeah. Wow. Well, let's start there. Keepers now. Where do we
mate?
So Ramsdale's getting in there, are we saying?
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, a fit Reece James.
I suppose Mendy on form, there's an argument to be had there.
What's the argument? I would like to hear that.
UEFA best goalkeeper in Europe, took us to Champions League.
2 years ago?
Yeah, but you said based on ability.
That's why I said you said overall.
You said checks from 2 years ago.
This is what they do.
You said based on ability.
I don't know about that.
But he doesn't have that ability today.
I agree that Ramsdale is there, but I do think Mendy maybe deserves a little bit more respect.
Honourable mention for Mendy, but Ramsdale's going in there.
Yeah, Ramsdale's in there, absolutely.
If everyone's fully fit, it's got to be Reece James.
Reece James?
Yeah, fully fit Reece James.
Are we saying over Benjamin White this season?
I really like Ben White.
No, but not this season, but I'm saying fully fit, no injuries.
Here's the question though, how many seasons has Reece James not been fully fit? When was the last time?
That's the only asterisk against
the last time he played over 22 league games.
Availability is an ability, but
Oh, we could be in behind again. Odegaard's here again. He's going to let it go for his legs.
Odegaard. That dummy.
That's that Real Madrid little, do you know what I mean? That little bit extra flair that he doesn't need. Like,
people say he's my twin, Odegaard.
What people?
I can who's
these people? Like?
Yo, let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
You think
Are you one of those people?
Like Odegaard.
I get an even.
Madueke's made a great run here.
Oh my god!
I get told
lost it. Final ball was lacking there.
I get told I look like Timo Werner, and I just don't see that one.
I can see that one more, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, I could probably see Timo Werner more than Odegaard. I don't know. I can see it. Maybe it's the hair with the Odegaard. I don't know.
It's just bizarre.
I can see it. Maybe I don't know. His distant cousin or something. His German cousin.
Yes. I think Reece James is the only thing is his availability. But as a player, I actually don't think it's as wide as some people would probably call it. I've been really impressed with Ben White this season, but he's dropped off last few weeks. And I would like to see him in the England squad as well. But Reece James, when he's fully fit, there's no foul there. Ref, come on.
Could you not put White in as a centre back though as well?
I don't know if he gets in as centre back. So I think
it's Gabriel.
It's Gabriel and Saliba. Again, honourable mention to Thiago Silva. But if we're doing a 4-4-3, 4-3-3, sorry.
Does he not get ahead of them
in a back four?
Based on body of work, if we're talking overall ability.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what for body of work. He's saying Mendy.
I'll challenge Ramsdale to Mendy. I think what Ramsdale's done since coming to Arsenal.
For a 4-3-3, I don't think any centre backs displacing Gabriel and Saliba.
Maybe Fofana, Badiashile in time, but I agree that when you're looking through the lens of this season and recency and all of that, you'd have to put those two in.
Yeah.
And they're just so settled. They're great. You probably do have to put them in.
Left back's more controversial because none of us have
Chilwell.
But again, it's injuries with Chilwell. That's the thing. Like when he's fully fit, they all are lacking in certain things. I think Chilwell's probably got the most overall ability. He's not. I think defensively not the best.
Why does it feel like the last maybe 4 weeks every Arsenal fan
he's the
Zinchenko bandwagon?
He's very good.
Put a foot wrong. It was
because all season he didn't put a foot wrong.
You're right.
Now all of a sudden it's like you're not.
When we're dominating the game, I'm not saying Chilwell's better. I'm saying when we're dominating the game, he obviously then shines. But when it's on the defensive side, he's not as strong. We even know that Tierney's a stronger defender, but he's not as good.
Chilwell defensively though.
Go on. Then.
That's what I'm saying.
He's kinda.
You think he's a bit sus?
I don't know. For me, I see him more as like his best attributes are probably shown when he's going forward.
Yeah.
Like something though.
His crossing is probably his best attribute.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of our left backs have some deficiencies, so that's why it's more of a debate.
That's that question.
Personally, I'd go Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko for me is just, I think the most complete footballer of the lot, if you like. I think he's probably shown the most consistency. So. I think internationally he's probably put the most down as well, you could say.
We're talking about him solely as a left back, though. A lot of that stuff that you're mentioning is when he plays in the midfield.
You found my loophole.
That's the thing. As just an out left back. I mean, I'm not mad at even potentially.
I will still go for Chilwell. I will sit with my man on this one.
I think Tierney puts up a good fight against Chilwell.
I think he probably does. But
Tierney to compete with Chilwell ahead of Zinni.
Tierney's a baller.
I don't know about that.
Depends. This the thing with football these days. It depends how you play. If you want man getting down the wing and whipping crosses in, Tierney could be that guy. Man. Tierney's quicker than Chilwell.
I agree. Tierney is probably doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Yeah,
and Chilwell
I don't know if we're talking about like Chilwell's availability. I'm looking at him like brother.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay, we'll go. So Chilwell, Reece James, Saliba, Gabriel,
back four.
Ramsdale.
I think that's a lovely back four, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on to midfield. Oh my God!
You're in behind here. The boy. It is.
Left foot. Oh
what a save! God. What a save! Ramsdale gave so much space. I really thought he was going to score. Ramsdale stepped way to the left.
Well, just breaking through there, and you thought that the space is there to take the
space is there to take the shot.
Saka got munched.
Well, this is what I want to see.
Save.
Chilwell was one of the few guys I would actually back to score from there.
That's where his best areas are, though.
Yeah.
He's almost like Marcus Alonso. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
To be fair,
but he's much better defensively than Marcus Alonso. Let's not get twisted. Yeah.
We see Tierney step in and score right foot goals against Newcastle.
Saka, pick yourself up, son. Dust yourself off, lad.
He was off balance.
Hey, yo, need to get back in the gym. Starting some pounded yam and a goosey, bruv.
He was off balance.
I've not seen a chance like that for Chelsea for for weeks. Like, I'm actually sitting here like,
Okay.
I'm actually doing something here. Like,
25 minutes
this corner.
in,
We need Ramsdale not to do anything.
Big chance.
We need Ramsdale to not do anything stupid right now. This is his problem from corners.
Corner here for Chelsea.
we're rubbish from corners.
It's a good header.
Arsenal get it all
I think that was
away.
Kivior as well.
And I've got a question for the panel, but we'll do our 11 first.
Midfield.
Yeah, let's move on to midfield.
Again, it's hard because I could make a case for Kante, but you're talking about availability, and it's just not been there this season.
Same as Thomas Partey. On all of their best days, I still think, I know Enzo's great, 100 million, all the rest of it, but he's done 22 appearances for Benfica. On all of their best days, Partey and Odegaard have to start, and maybe you put Enzo in the pivot.
The thing is, the way I see it, I just don't think we've seen anywhere near Enzo's best because of how bad we've been.
So what you're saying is he can't be in the combined 11. I hear you. Say no more.
I feel that if you put him in Arsenal's team, if you put him in Arsenal's midfield three, you'd see a world class player.
Yeah, that's what I said with Partey and Odegaard. That's him. That's him in the free.
That would be for me. Kante, I probably wouldn't because he's just not been available.
Kante is just not the Kante of 2-3 seasons ago. He's just not.
Yeah, he's been good, but he's just not played, right?
Yeah.
Kovacic is just injured. Oh, he's not injured. Kovacic has no end product, and that's been the case for years. He'll do something good, but then give the ball away. Mm-hmm. And I think for the rest of our midfield, there's just no one really to make a case for. You're not going to.
Saka shrugged off the ball
Hey,
again, but Trossard
Get
here.
on the weights.
Handball, referee. That's a handball. Tell me that's not handball there.
No, his hand was in his body.
Is VAR going to check that?
Oh, it'll be checked, definitely.
Hey, you're a neutral for that. Talk to me. What was your gut reaction there?
I can't lie to you. That one, straight handball. It definitely
It was
hit
with
his
his
hands.
body.
I don't know whether the hand was in a natural position.
We
or
gotta
not.
see that again.
I saw the arms flail up a little bit.
I don't know. We got to see that again.
We'll see. It will be checked.
Don't kill the game this early, man.
Let's see this again.
Come on. Yeah. Nah. He
That's
got his
us.
arms close to his body.
That was
He's
my
even trying to
instinct.
turn away. VAR, don't give
We've
that.
seen him given.
That was my gut.
We've seen
that was my gut.
You know what?
instinct.
I remember United, Kimpembe, PSG, Champions League was it a year or 2 years ago?
Yes.
I saw some
Like
shit
semi-final.
where the guy is
Yep.
turning away.
But
and
they made the argument that if you are turning away, your hands have to be in your silhouette and in control. If you're turning away, your hands by definition you're not in control of them. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
but obviously it
not
looks
been
like they've not been given it. So
I do think it ruins the game if it gets given. To be honest,
after 3 draws and a loss, man will ruin this game, big man. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I hear you.
Go home, mate.
But that midfield, so we said Partey and Odegaard are guaranteed locks. Yep. And then the third one, you're saying you want to push Enzo?
I would go for Enzo.
Where are you going?
I think
Xhaka, no?
Xhaka's been good this season.
Xhaka has been good this season. He's not mobile enough, though. That's the only thing. Like, I would like to see someone a little bit more. Do you know what it is with Enzo? I don't necessarily think he's better than Xhaka, but he has all of the attributes that I wish Xhaka had. Much more mobile. He's much more of a box to box. He's going to pick the ball up in tight spaces, make things happen. If we had that, he shoots a hell of a lot more. They can both shoot from distance, but Xhaka just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And like, if we switch them out, I think that would improve our team. Obviously, Xhaka's got good leadership qualities as well. But
okay.
Oh,
Kante going
Chelsea
through.
coming on
Go
the
on,
break
Ronnie.
here.
Go on,
Madueke, can he whip it back? Post
Should've whipped that
Aubameyang
first
just
time.
waiting.
Should have whipped that first time, maybe.
Just held on to it too long, maybe, and
Yeah,
slips.
and it slips away.
At least we're having a go, and I like that.
But this is what with the front three, the threat it gives you.
At least we're
threat
having
on
a
the
go.
counter where you know what, when it's our time to run, let's go.
At least,
blitz.
and that's all I can ask tonight, because Arsenal are clearly having a considerably better season, or a better team than us right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Something, having a go is all I can ask of these boys. Which is why when Arsenal score, there's no point in getting annoyed. We all know Arsenal are a better team than us at the moment. So,
who would we go in this combined 11 front three? Since
Arsenal's
we're talking
front three.
overall ability.
I thought maybe our front three, to be fair.
We're talking overall ability, and you're taking out
at
João
the
Felix.
I'm not putting João Felix in there. No.
I wouldn't have. João Felix has a better shout.
Would João Felix get in the Arsenal lineup?
João Felix has a better shout of displacing Odegaard, which he doesn't do, by the way, but he has a better shout of displacing Odegaard than he does of displacing.
He's not played there for Chelsea.
He's not a 9.
But he's not played.
This is the problem he's had his whole career, but he isn't a 9.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Go on.
João Felix is there, available, as an Arsenal fan. Does he get into your starting lineup?
Hang on, Jesus just in behind. Can you create something?
1v1
Get the shot away. Get the
Fofana.
shot away.
Xhaka.
Get the shot away. Oh, Jesus,
Fizzles
man
out.
is lagging, bruv. AOL Wi-Fi and that. Just have a shot.
See, I actually
no
think,
dial-up.
Yeah, man, like Lagisha, man. Come on,
I
man.
actually think in defence we looked all right. I think the goal wasn't great, but it could be a lot worse than this. As a
But yeah,
Chelsea fan.
I think
I'll say
João
that.
Felix, you're talking about as a 9 versus Jesus.
I'm talking any position
I
in
don't
that
think he
front
gets
three.
in
Are
at
you
all.
not taking João Felix?
He doesn't. He's not got the pace and the tech to. He has the tech in terms of passing, moving, but he hasn't got the pace and the directness of Saka and Martinelli. That's just not going to happen. He's really technical as a 10, or maybe a false 9, a Phil Foden-esque type player, but he's not a winger. I'm just not having that. And then as a 9, I mean, you know, we've got a man that's won 4 Premier Leagues. Do you know what I mean?
Goal.
Oh, again, goal! It's the same again.
No!
It's the same again.
They
Odegaard,
said
my
copy,
captain.
Control C.
Hey.
Paste. Control V.
João Felix is not getting in over Odegaard. He's not
Fairs.
happening.
Fairs.
He's not getting in.
Fairs.
What I hate about that
withdraw
is
He's not getting in.
it's the same movie.
It's the same move. I need to see who cut the ball across, but it's pretty much the same move. Ball out wide. Ball out wide, driven across the 18-yard box, and Odegaard stepping across and
Enzo
slotting it in the
Thiago
corner.
having a little
Come
fight
on.
Well, shouting at Thiago there as well.
See what I'm playing? That's why I start shouting. They're rattled lads.
Enzo.
Yeah, Enzo there as well. But
Yeah.
it was him and Chilwell initially having a go at each other.
Here we go.
Arsenal just.
What's frustrating
easily
is
picking
we've-
passes. Look,
we've actually
every
looked
player's
alright.
got
No
time on the
press.
ball. No press. He tries to press, caught out.
Xhaka again.
Who's tracking the
Xhaka
run?
again.
What a
The first
ball
one was
that
across
is.
the 8-yard box, the 18-yard box. This one goes right across the penalty spot.
I just want to know
Bang,
who's
right on the penalty
tracking-
spot.
Who's
Give
tracking his
Xhaka
run?
his credit.
There's no one tracking his run at the back post.
And that was
there.
the same thing the first time.
Listen,
It's his movement.
Enzo might be playing himself out of this combined 11 right now. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to pin it on Enzo. That
You see, I said Xhaka, you wanted to put Enzo.
I'm trying to be nice, innit? I'm trying to be unbiased.
Let us know
you know?
if there's a combined 11, who gets in? Enzo Fernandez or Granit Xhaka? Because right now I'm looking at it and it's like, yo, Granit Xhaka, body of work, they are international.
We're through again.
He's got
This
it
could be
there
through
as well.
again.
You know,
Man, I have a World
that's
Cup,
not a
but
pen,
Shouts for a
surely.
pen,
does
but I
bits for
don't think it
Switzerland.
is.
Thing is now, right, lads, I just don't see how we're even going to score. And maybe I'm being harsh because we actually have had some chances today. But
No, you're right, because for you guys to score, you have to step out. And if you step out, that plays into our strength. So that's the difficulty that you find
Oh
yourself
my
in.
God, Arsenal's trying to go
and we're
for a
just
third.
so low on confidence as well.
Do you know what though,
so-
Fuad? This is how we lose games. We're 2-0 up, and we'll start doing flicks and tricks like that, and that's how we lose games. We have to stay disciplined. Like they just played the ball to Trossard, and he just done a little back heel flick, and this is like
Literally what
we've
he
got to
did.
just keep doing exactly what we've been. I don't care if it's boring. I don't care. Express yourself in pre-season. Do you know what I'm saying? But we have to just keep it
I remember
sensible.
the game against Liverpool was similar like this.
Exactly.
30,
I will
40 minutes
say-
you were so dominant, so
100%.
controlling. And it was like, yo, we look like the champions. Yeah, we're imposing ourselves at Anfield as
That's
well.
it.
And then it
Man
just
started
all
playing with that
started
right
to come.
toggle on FIFA, and then it was done.
Yep.
I've got to clutch at some straws here. And I haven't got a straw in my water bottle, so I'm not going to have a sip. But Battle of the Bridge, do you remember that, Fuad?
Yeah.
We're 2 goals down in that game. So I'm just going to...
Oh, Saka back post. No.
I'm just going to
Let's have a crack.
cling
Let's
on
get
to
another
that.
shot.
I'm going to cling on to that, I think.
Okay.
We're not going to do anything.
It's a good cross
but-
from Ben White. It's a great cross.
Oh,
Bang
what
that.
a touch!
Bang
Finish
that.
it! Oh my God!
3-0,
3-0.
come on.
Game,
Offside.
set,
Offside. Yes.
match.
Yeah.
Bury
Yes,
all
come
your
on.
hopes.
Come on,
It's done.
bro. Do you see
That's
how?
disgusting.
Did you see how long they had the ball and no one made a tackle? The ball,
Oh my
it
days.
spilled off a defender. The ball is sitting at Jesus' feet for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and no one presses him. They just stand there doing the mannequin challenge.
Yeah.
2 or 3 shots come in, and then Jesus slots it home. And I'll tell you what, he needed that goal. We needed that goal, but he needed that goal. 3-0 in the first half.
The assists that have been coming in as well. That cross from Ben White, left foot as well. People need to wake up to that. Left foot whippers, the touch to bring that down as well. I thought, yo, he
Bro.
fluffed it at
Why
the
did I
first
only
one.
say 3-0?
Poor
I should have
defending
said
as well.
5-0.
There's a shout for poor defending here.
Look, look
because
at the
as-
press. Look at
there's
Sterling.
no
He's ball
press.
watching.
As the
no
ball
press.
comes in,
There is no
Look,
press.
yeah, falls to Xhaka's feet, lazy
They're on the
shot.
floor. They're on the
They're
floor.
all fell on the floor.
they're all on the floor.
Man got sat
It's
down, you know.
terrible, that.
Nah, man.
Unforgivable, that.
Oh my God! Look at these.
Granit
guys.
Xhaka might be man of the match so far. I'm not gonna lie. He's just
Hey,
involved.
If there's an Arsenal photographer on a touchline there and he gets that picture of them three on the floor.
Listen,
with
Big Stuart's on it. I promise you. The nutmeg's the goalkeeper as well.
Big photography.
Big Stuart is on it right now. 100%. Shout out Stuart.
I'm going to tell some home truths here about
10th
Chelsea.
Premier League goal of the season for Jesus there.
And he was out for like a month injured.
34 minutes into the game, 3-0 at the Emirates. I mean, we saying 4-5?
I said 4-1. I was trying to be nice.
What was he cooking?
I said if we do not, I said all season, not all season, but I've said since the last game, I said, bro, when we go and play Chelsea and it's at home, if we do not put 4, 5, 6 past these man, I'll not be happy. I don't care if they score 1 or 2. But I don't care. I do not care. If we're trying to replicate the success of Man City, next season, everyone can score whatever goals they want against us, as long as we are scoring more. That's how you win games. I don't care about all that.
David
do you know what I mean?
says Chelsea will have to move out of Chelsea at this rate. Man, they might have to move out of London.
Wow.
Yeah. Now Zinchenko stepping into the midfield, and now the football's starting to get saucy.
For me.
And I was telling my boy Steve as well. Steve, I hope you see this as well, you waste man, bro. He's a Chelsea fan. I was telling him Ben White is a great attacking fullback. And he's telling me he's not.
Again, picking it. Oh, Ben White.
Look at the feet. Look at the feet. Look at the feet. Hey, Steve, I don't rate you, blood. I'm telling you.
That makes me more angry than any of the goals. That defending makes me actually more annoyed than any of the goals. Perhaps the third goal, but that's just unforgivable. How is White given a cut inside completely for free there?
100%, bro.
Disgusting.
I've tried to tell my friends about Ben White and the attacking side of his fullback play, and man just don't want to hear it. And he does. Do you know what it is as well? He does so much flary stuff that people don't. Maybe it's because he's English, but people just don't rate it at all.
He's class. He's been perhaps the player I've been in a way the most unexpectedly impressed with.
Yeah, he plays 2 positions as well. He plays centre half. And I tell you what, fair play to these players for putting in his performance. But from an Arsenal fan perspective, they owe us this after what we've been seeing for the last few weeks. And they've had a great season. I'm not trying to be toxic or anything like that. But they owe us this performance. Do you know what I'm saying? They really do, because we needed a reaction and we're getting it. Do you know what I'm saying? Now Aubameyang's starting to press when he's 3-0 down. This guy, bro, you stay over there, bro.
I gave it to you, though. I will say that. I think...
pause on that.
As good as you've been, I think we've kind of have been a mannequin 4-4 block. And it's just been, can you play around us? Yes, 3-0. And I look like a mug now for only saying 3-0 to Arsenal. I mean...
It could be 3-0.
Ben Antonio says, I want 5 today at least.
Minimum. Come on.
You might get it, pal.
Axel D Star says, lads, it's Chelsea. Glad the boys are confident coming back.
Boys, we have got to stay disciplined, though. We have to. What's working for us is what's working for us. Let's not start.
The press is still active. This is what didn't happen against Liverpool. You lot just started thinking, you know what? It's in the bag.
I don't think it was just that. When we get the ball, we're already starting to do it now. When we're getting the ball, the flicks and tricks and all that, right? Remember, Liverpool scored in this period of time now when we were cruising 2-0 and it's just before half time. Let's now get to half time. It's 8 minutes until half time. Let's just get there.
Yeah, 3.
Do you know what I mean? Let's not get giddy and get excited. They still have 3 top players.
Because if we can pinch a goal here...
Exactly. Everything changes.
Just quickly as well, on that combined 11, who did we decide on for the front 3?
Arsenal's front 3.
Yeah, our front 3.
Saka, Martinelli,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Damn. So we've literally... let's
none of our front 3 get in now.
Yep.
Ramsdale in goal. Right back, Reece James. Left back, we've gone Chilwell.
Yep.
Centre backs, we've gone Saliba and Gabriel. Midfield of...
Partey. Enzo.
And Odegaard. And then up front, we've gone Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus. Yep. Damn, so only 2 Chelsea players.
3, wasn't it? Chilwell
3, sorry.
Enzo.
Yeah, 2 fullbacks and Enzo, yeah.
I have a question, though, for you, Nick, actually. Well, also for you, Fuad. But because I've had this conversation about, teams perhaps man for man being a lot more even than obviously the league table shows. If you had to pick maybe 3 Arsenal players that would, which Arsenal players would genuinely improve this Chelsea team?
Oh, look, Ramsdale makes a howler. This is what I'm saying.
But we
Get rid. That's exactly what I'm talking about now. To be fair to Ramsdale, he hasn't. It's a great outside foot pass. That's outrageous. That's just rude. To be fair to Ramsdale, he hasn't had a lot to do. He's probably a little bit cold. Chelsea haven't gotten him warmed up yet. Great feat from Jesus. And ref, we'll take a card there, please.
He's had to make a save. A lot of keepers haven't had to do that against us this year.
That lazy pass straight through the midfield, that's how we concede goals. And that's about the 3rd or 4th foul from Fofana as well. So I wouldn't want a yellow at this point, right?
So here's my question, right? And everyone is saying, and I'll be the first to say it, Arteta's built an amazing Arsenal team, particularly that front 11. And I think your team's been more than the sum of the 11 players on the pitch, despite the fact you've got some great players. Which of the Arsenal team do you think would still show their quality in this mess of a Chelsea setup at the moment?
The players that were part of our rebuild. There are players in this team now who, as it stands at the top of the table, I know they've got games in hand and all the rest of it, but there are players in this team now, let's not forget, who have finished the season 8th 2 seasons ago. And so they've got the experience of digging a team out from mid-table up to the top. We haven't seen, yes, we love all of these players, but we haven't seen Jesus do this, Zinchenko do this. We've seen Saka do this. We've seen Martinelli do this. We've seen Xhaka do this. They've been here since we were 8th. When we were on the slide, from when we were top 4 and sliding backwards, and they've been able to flip it around completely. So they're the guys that deserve everything that they're getting now, but they're the guys I would say that would slot into a team and get you guys playing football.
At least in kind of,
especially Saka, because Saka is the most. When I say pure football, I don't mean Brazilian samba and flair. I mean passing, moving, basics of football, but does the basics to a very high level without some of the flair. He could step into a team and do whatever the manager asked him to do. Remember, this guy started off playing left wing back, then moved to left wing.
Who was it? Was it Youngberg
that was Emery?
That put him there?
That was Emery at first, I think.
Yeah. That's mad.
Yeah, he came through under Emery.
That felt so long.
Playing left wing back in the Europa League, and then slowly worked his way forwards, and ultimately started playing on the right wing. Yeah. Even for England, I think he was playing left wing when he first started. He didn't start on the right wing. Or maybe for us, he then moved to the left wing, and then he moved to the right wing afterwards to cut in and shoot. So this is a guy that's just a pure football player.
He's everything we wanted Callum Hudson-Odoi to be and thought he might have been. It's
bruv, Callum Hudson-Odoi, I'm not even going to say what I want to say, bruv. But yeah, bro, that guy, he can boss it at under 18s and under 21s and that. But man football, his ligaments ain't built for that. I'm not going to lie.
It's sad. It is just, as a footballing fan's perspective, it's just a shame he's not even getting into Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso. But no, I find it interesting because I would say yes.
What do you think it is, though, that why he hasn't?
I think his injuries. I think, and I don't like saying this until people know facts, but I think coaches maybe haven't liked his attitude. Like I think Lampard wasn't a fan of him breaking lockdown rules, and I think that didn't help him under Frank when he was a player that really needed game time. I think Frank didn't play him for that reason, and for me, I think that's probably harsh. I actually think we had to play him every week under Frank, and we didn't. But I think a mixture of injuries, not gelling with coaches, Tuchel playing him at wing back, mixture of those three have just meant he's just not the player that he really should be, in my opinion.
When Saka was on the come up, certain fans are saying to me that Saka can't be that good because he hasn't hashed out a position.
Come on,
and who's this coming forwards?
Nonny.
Madueke.
That's a poor touch from Aubameyang. Classic. That's the Aubameyang that flew to Barcelona and left Arsenal when we needed to fight for top 4.
I've not seen him enough to say.
But people were saying to me maybe Saka's a little bit overrated because he hadn't hashed out a position. He didn't have a firm position yet. He was still playing multiple positions. And I'd make the same argument for Callum Hudson-Odoi because when you're the guy in your team that gets put wing back, that means you're not the certified guy that can't move from your position. You're the guy, you're the utility player. You can do a bit of it. When someone comes tells us football, you go, where'd you play, mate? And they go, I'll do a bit of this and a bit of that. Rather than, I'm a striker, I'm a defender, I'm this, I'm that. Do you know what I mean? And he hasn't really, his style of football in the youth leagues has not translated into man football. He used to pick up the ball. He was very, very big. He had an early growth spurt. He was very big for a young player, and he just used to shove guys off the ball and drive with the ball. And when you go and play, it's a bit of a push there, ref. When you go and play against full-size grown men, that style of football may not necessarily translate.
You don't have that physical advantage.
That's nice from Alba, though.
And that adaptation is where you feel like you just kind of lacked a little bit. Do you feel like maybe you guys probably have a bit of experience with that with Reece Nelson? Because Reece Nelson was something like that where he was tearing up the academies and you thought, I felt like almost like the whole Hale End hype thing came really.
It started with him, yeah.
Chuba Akpom was kind of the first wave, and then he was kind of the one that's the golden boy. And then Saka, that allowed him to kind of unsuspectingly go under the radar and just burst through.
That's a really good point about Saka going under the radar, because he wasn't. And also, Reece James plays a bit of a flary style of football, which Saka doesn't do. But for me, I still think right now, with Saka and Martinelli in there, Reece Nelson is our most direct winger. He's the guy. Trossard is more of a football player, same as Saka. Martinelli's a bit of a dribbler, but in that final third, he's still a bit raw. But Reece Nelson still gets the ball, looks up, and he plays probably the most fearlessly. Gets the ball in any position, looks up and says, "Right, where's the goal? Yeah. I'm going that way," and that's what he does straight away.
Like that dribble against City, even when he came on for that kind of cameo.
Exactly.
He's like, "Oh, I see 4 man. Some way, somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to get through that.
Weave through all of these
for sure." And some coaches don't like that, because it means he gambles and it means he loses the ball. Saka's a lot safer, but he's such a talented player, and in a game like this, I better see him come on. We don't need Martinelli on now. 3-0. If we get, it's 2 minutes until half time. Well, it's 45 minutes now for anyone watching, but 2 minutes at a time.
At the end of the season as well.
Reece Nelson's contract is out at the end of the season, and I would like to see him get an extension, especially after the Bournemouth comeback winner. He must be really disappointed with not having more minutes since then.
Obviously, with that goal at that time, it haven't meant like, this is sign of we're going to win the league. But I feel like that goal was almost giving him a new lease of life, because as you said, he hasn't had many minutes to prove himself, but it just goes to show you how it literally takes one moment to just change
100%
the whole concept. Because I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans, maybe had he left in the summer, would have said, do you know what? Fair enough. He kind of had his chance.
It would have depended what we replaced him with. Do you know what I mean? Were we to go and replace him with somebody who was a level above or a little bit more experienced, then that would have been fine. If we didn't replace him and we just went with what we've got, I think our fans would have been very upset, because we do buy into the academy in Hale End and we really want to see these players be successful. And there is nobody in this team. There's a lot of places in this team I think that we can improve, but this team has still got us to where we are. Do you know what I mean? So we can't disrespect the guys that, like I say, have been part of that rebuild.
Yeah.
For me, the difference, I suppose if there is a difference, the difference between Nelson and Odoi would be that it's almost a tale of the two loans, that Nelson went out on loan and was doing really well. Like, from what I've been told by my Arsenal friends, he was really... Was it Hoffenheim he did
go to Hoffenheim, yeah.
He was absolutely nailing it in Germany. Whereas Odoi, and it's not helped by injuries and changes of coach, but it's just not worked for him.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps that might show why Arsenal were willing to give time to Nelson, that maybe Odoi's not getting.
Could be in. Chance for a penalty. And the ref immediately waves it away. It did look a little bit soft, but you never know these days. You see everything given.
Yeah.
Chance for a penalty for Raheem Sterling.
It'd be nice for the game if that was given, in a way, just to...
I always say, listen, a little goal before half-time.
Yeah,
we showed it the other day against Liverpool. It was like, what? There's something in this game. And then we showed ourselves again in the last minute. I said, hey, we are still Tottenham.
Best way I think we're going to score at the moment is a penalty, to be honest.
And there we go. It's half-time, and it's 3-0 to the Arsenal at the Emirates. How are you feeling after that, bro? Jolly on, man.
I want to see it again in the second half, bro. You know what I mean? That's it. Now, this is pretty much what I predicted. Chelsea have had one or two opportunities to get a goal. I still do feel like there's a chance they'll get a goal, whether that be a sloppy penalty that we give away or something like that, more from our mistake than anything else, than them necessarily being great. But this is what I expected. Chelsea have been struggling, and we were flying up until 3 or 4 weeks ago. So even though we haven't been good on recent form, in this team mentally, they know what they're capable of.
Are you happy? Obviously now 3 goals, 3, who scored?
Odegaard scored 2 and Jesus scored the 3rd. With
the assists as well, Ben White chipping in there and Xhaka getting 2 as well.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of involved as well. You must be happy with that.
100%. This, like I say, this performance is exactly what we've needed to, for us to chase down Man City, put as much pressure on them as possible. If we're not going to win the league, it's not fine. It's very, very frustrating, but we at least want it to be as close as possible or as respectful as possible. Bottling the league, I still arguments about whether it's bottle job, but whatever. Bottling the league and losing by a point looks very different to bottling the league and losing by 10 points.
Yeah.
Given that we've been at the top. So if we can keep it as close as possible and keep it respectable, then we can really build on it.
I said that's probably the most important thing. It's similar like with Newcastle. I said when they lost the Carabao Cup final, the last thing they can do now is let the rest of the season almost be a hangover of, we lost the Carabao, we're just going to whimper out a Champions League, Europa League, but instead they've used that as we're going to use that as a moment to kickstart the rest of the season. And even though now you've kind of, okay, maybe we've lost the title, but it's a case of if you can push them to the final day and say, we're going to make sure you got to win this 90-plus minute on the final day, you're still going to be sweating. Do that. That's the thing. And I think performance like this, when you've had those kind of results back at home, this is what you kind of want to give your fans, a kind of confidence display.
For sure.
Any changes you would make at half-time, I'd ask?
It's a really good question. You know, we're cruising. Because we're winning and because it's 3-0, I would give it 10 minutes. I would give it 10, 15 minutes, which is something I've criticised Arteta for before in the past, I know. But for the people that are watching at home, I criticise Arteta for this when we're losing, not when we're winning. When we're winning, things can stay broadly as they are. And we can give it 10, 15 minutes. And then we can look at some of the key players that we can rest. And like we said, can we, Saka has been pretty good this game, but is he essential for the second half? Maybe not. Can we give Reece Nelson half an hour? Can we get some of the kind of core players off and start to rest them for the next game? Do we bring on a Holding and get Gabriel off and rest him? And, so that's something to start thinking about. Once we get into the last half an hour, if we're 3, maybe even 4 goals up, then we can start and look at that rotation.
Yeah, let me just read out some of the stats as well. 8 shots to 2 for Arsenal, of course, with 5 to 1 on target. 58% possession, so pretty much looking as comfortable as possible at home. But Chelsea,
I mean, 5 shots on target, 3 goals. Shoot.
Clinical.
That's what it means. It means shoot and keep shooting, because for weeks we've not been doing it enough. Mm-hmm. And when we do it, clearly we're successful. I think in that Man City game we had like 2 shots on target. We got a goal.
And we said at the start, like when you see a keeper like Kepa, who has been shaky from long range shooting, just test him out.
100%.
See what happens. And you saw almost the first header Saka had on goal. He flaps at it, and it kind of just makes I'm sure, raises the backs of the forwards a little bit, where it's like, hold on, this guy might flap at everything. Odegaard, next thing you know, shot straight at him, kind of tips it onto the crossbar. But for me, I just think when you have a keeper like that, always just take your chances.
Same as the defence as well. It's going to make the defence more shaky, because the defence know they're playing in front of a goalkeeper who's not on top form, who's a little bit shaky. It's going to make them double, triple think.
And you know what? You can say that shows in the final goal, where they almost feel the need to overcommit. Because I always say, like, having played that centre-back, if you trust the man behind you, there's almost like a sense of a calm you play with, because it's like,
well, you can just guide the striker to the most uncomfortable position to get the shot off.
Make it hard.
Even if you don't make a foot, just make it as hard as possible with the faith that so long as a shot comes, generally speaking, the keeper should be there. But if the keeper's shaky and you think, please don't have a shot, please don't have a shot.
I must do everything possible to stop this shot from happening. So I'm going to throw myself out. And that's what you saw. Aspi just completely not knowing where the ball is. Fofana and Thiago Silva being more experienced, though, maybe you would have thought, but he's probably thinking heroic tackle, and he's been throwing a few of those. But
for sure.
What have you kind of made of that first half? Because I see Arsenal fans were chanting at the Chelsea, you're going down, and sitting in 12th position at the moment as well. No wins in God knows how long, but what have you kind of made of that first half? 3-0. I know you was kind of predicted that scoreline, but was it this quickly?
So I guess I'm going to say my piece here, because I think it's just so many thoughts boiling up about Chelsea, right?
Go for it, mate.
This season has been a shambles. And I could sit here, right, ranting and raving about the defending, about the play for this 3-0 scoreline, but there really is no point. Our club this season has been an absolute shambles from day one of pre-season to right now, all right? We've had pre-season played on pitches which resemble more like the rough on a golf course. It's been so terrible. To the start of a season under Tuchel, where we've signed a load of players that have then been rendered useless because we've sacked the coach. And then under Graham Potter, we've seen sterile football in a changing room of 40 players, where it's just been wheeling out 10 of them randomly, like a scratch card. To Frank Lampard, where it's been, if anything, just all hope gone. And people thought when we got Lampard in that we were going to see something, just some attack, just some naive attacking football, just something.
I remember you saying on the Saturday Football Show, like, you just hope he brings, even if nothing on the pitch, but just some togetherness with the fans. But when you're not getting results, when you're playing the way you're playing, losing 3-0 away in the London derby in that kind of manner, it's hard to kind of get the fans on side, isn't it?
Everything that was meant to happen about Frank coming back, Frank's return to Chelsea has been an absolute disaster. it's been everything that we feared it might have been, rather than everything we hoped it would be. He came in, we thought he'd play naive attacking football, but instead he's been scared, and it's almost like he's given up on this squad as much as anybody else. And we thought maybe with a squad there, some young players he's played with before, maybe he'd give them a new lease of life. But actually, it's been even worse than that. It's been even worse. Lampards kind of come in, and it's been like, do you know what? I'm here, but I'm not really here. There's been no connection to fans.
Do you almost feel like now, having gone through 2 spells in that kind of manner, it almost seems like at this point, this is just a free fall. You're just kind of falling to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Do you think that's kind of tarnishing his legacy a little bit? And I'll open it up to kind of both of you. But like personally, I'm not the biggest of fans of seeing former players come back to manage their clubs unless they've kind of really earned that position.
As long as they're not fast tracked.
Yeah, I'm really not for the fast track. The fact that he got fast tracked the first time really exposed him, I felt like. Then it was like, okay, you went to Everton, you tried to do I'm going to take a club to where I should be. You failed there. Then you guys throw a Hail Mary out of nowhere, trying to play on fans' emotional heartstrings, I feel like. Let's pull back the legend. But he himself, do you feel like his playing legacy is going to be damaged a little bit? Of course, that is set in stone and done. Yeah. But does it leave a bit of taste in fans' mouth?
I think probably not for him, just because he achieved so much at Chelsea. You know, if you look at Arteta, when he was captain of Arsenal, I think he got 1, maybe 2 FA Cups, and he left the club well respected, but not a legend necessarily. Do you know what I mean? Like for Lampard, he's like their Henry. You know, Henry could do no wrong as far as being a manager at Arsenal, because what he's done is he's not just any old player.
Would you ever take him as a manager at Arsenal?
Not on a fast track basis. We would love to see Patrick Vieira be manager. We would love to see Henry be manager. All these guys are plying their trade, but they have to ply their trade before. And obviously, before they come back to Arsenal, if they ever do, and a lot of it maybe is the fact that these guys aren't English. Do you mean Lampard is English, which means he's always here. He's always in the country. He's somebody that you guys obviously know really well. He's around the England setup, so all of these things play into him coming back, and I don't think it will tarnish his playing legacy for sure, but yeah, as a manager, you just can't fast track people. I saw some managerial naivety at Chelsea, and I saw it again at Everton when he was and I know Everton was stuck with players that they were going to sign, but he was in a relegation battle and needed midfielders and got in Donny van de Beek and Dele Alli, and I thought these are not relegation built players. Do you know what I mean? 100%. So you're just seeing some real naivety from him.
What do you feel as a Chelsea fan? Do you feel like his memory is a little bit tainted now?
Not at all. I don't think he tarnishes his playing career whatsoever. I mean, for me, it was it was a different period in my life, watching him play to watching him manage. So for me, that's not kind of the question. I mean, I agree with the point that you shouldn't fast track coaches. It doesn't help them, and it doesn't help it's very rare that it helps a team. I think maybe you could pick out Zidane, but even that.
Pep Guardiola's the only one I can think of.
Yeah,
I can think of
Pep, Zidane,
Pirlo, who got fast-tracked. He became under-23s coach, then became Juve coach, was sacked within a year. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, look how that turned out. Ljungberg, when
and Ole had more experience.
Yeah, Ole definitely had more experience. But for me, it just an experience in the sense of, I don't feel like sometimes even playing in those smaller foreign leagues is always worthy enough to a club like United. Come on, this is like too much of a jump. But
all I will say is that I think with Frank, it's an interesting one as a coach, because he came in a transfer ban. So as much as I'd say he was fast tracked, he clearly was. He didn't. I mean, his Derby didn't overachieve. I think there's some perceptions that maybe his Derby team good.
They finished sixth the year before, and then they finished sixth with him
and lost the playoff final, right? And that's fine. I mean, but it's not exactly like what's been going on in where you see some teams storm the championship and go up immediately. So like Scott Parker, for instance, doing that in the championship. But what I would say on Frank is his first year when he was, he was maybe a bit naive, but it helped him because he had no options. His back was against the wall. There were no expectations. He overachieved. He did overachieve at Chelsea. Top 4 FA Cup final. It really was an achievement, and maybe the club didn't see it as such. I think, though, the minute that there's been any kind of expectation on him as a coach and a kind of fact that he would be treated like every other coach, and it's not like special circumstances, transfer ban, he's underachieved wherever he's gone. And my optimism for him was that he was coming in with no expectations to Chelsea. Our season was over, really, barring a 2-leg tie against Madrid. Let's just see what he can do. And that's fallen completely flat on its face, unfortunately. It's just... I just can't wait till the season ends, I'll be honest with you, because it's just been atrocious.
Damning indictment.
From day one to now, you know.
Are you in the camp of we won't win a game again until the end of the season? Because I think your next 3 or 4 games, you've got City, United, you've got Forest and Bournemouth.
Newcastle.
Is that Forest at the City ground as well?
Newcastle, say again?
Is that Forest at the City ground as well?
No, at home.
Okay.
Might get a point there.
That's in use, yeah.
No, for me, I mean, I think genuinely we could very easily lose every game the rest of the season. And I'm not saying it to be an attention-seeking kind of, we're rubbish, we're really bad, we're going to go down. I mean, we won't go down. But I just do not see how this team wins games. There's no cohesion, there's no team spirit, there's no... You know, even I take Nottingham Forest.
Should there not be characters in a dressing room, though, that want to take the mantle and
Clearly
be like,
not.
do you know what? All right, cool, we're in this shit, but I'm gonna leave with something.
Yeah.
At least if you're the number 9, you're gonna say, all right, you lot might play pants. I'm gonna get my goal. If you're the number 10, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna put everything on a plate for you lot. If you lot don't finish your dinner. But it just seems like everyone's just kind of waiting for the next man.
This is why you don't, even though he's been good, and it's not down to him. This is why you don't spend 100 million on somebody who's got 22 appearances for Benfica. Do you know what I'm saying? This person is I'm not saying it's down to him, but I'm saying I'm going through other players as well. You mentioned Aubameyang. We know Aubameyang's a mercenary. We know Aubameyang's a proven mercenary who will down tools and not play.
Sorry, the Women's Super League just came up there and we saw Chelsea third and we thought, I saw Tom there for a second go, hold on, are we in an alternate universe? What's happened?
Big up Chelsea women.
You held 3, not third.
Big up Chelsea women. These players play for the shirt. Big up the Chelsea women.
But that's what playing for the shirt, that's what it is. If Aubameyang was going to help us turn things around and potentially mount a challenge for top 4 when we were slipping, but he sacked that off to go on holiday, what on earth is he going to do for you? He's got no relationship with your club. Do you know what I mean? So that should tell you about the type of characters. Maybe Conor Gallagher's it. You guys have either got characters that character-wise don't care, or you've got characters that do care but just aren't good enough, like a Conor Gallagher who's talented but not the guy to drive the team forward.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You said there as well, just quickly, as the players are coming out, Lampard, you might not win till the end of the season.
We might not, no.
If that's the case, do you even keep Lampard on?
Yeah. I just don't see what sacking him gains. We've got nothing to play for.
What does staying on gain for him?
Ask Fuad. They got rid of Stellini. He's the expert.
I'll tell you why, right?
Listen, get them all out of here, man.
This is different, though. In some ways, I think we perhaps should have kept Bruno Saltor instead of Lampard. I mean, we actually played quite well against Liverpool. Probably should have won the game.
What was the XG? 2? In that game?
I think that we did beat them.
2 point something, I remember. It was Chelsea fans were screenshotting like, oh my God, we got that 2 point XG.
We're back.
We're back. But people forget, under Potter, we won games in XG. I could only dream of that right now. And I'm saying that it's pathetic, and I accept that. But
you would keep Lampard till the end of the season, then?
I don't see what bringing in a new manager right now gains. It will only make it harder for him next season. Say we bring in Pochettino, why would we bring him in now?
Yeah.
There's nothing to gain from him. In fact, there's more to lose than there would be to gain from him coming in now. So for me,
just wait till the end.
As it is, we probably
players are just out for the second half now as well, just about to kick off, and there's been a substitution as well with Aubameyang coming off and Kai Havertz coming on. So let's see if he can make a bit of a difference in the second half. Are you expecting anything?
Oh, no. I mean, I think it could end 3-0 this game. Mm-hmm. I think there's a very good chance.
Would you take that right now?
Yeah, probably, to be honest.
Just see it out. Ooh,
nice
coming up here early. Sterling 1v1 with Kivior here.
Be nice to get a goal.
Can he cook something up? No, Kivior just deals with it well.
Yeah, Sterling looks like he's lost all his confidence. I mean, Kivior, he's on his weaker foot. Kivior, he's standing on his right foot. He's not really where his strength is, and he's been really shaky. Sterling's got to try and run at him, got to try and beat him, try something, maybe get a free kick, anything can happen. But he's just almost, when he passes that ball, to me, it's like he's trying to pass the buck. He's actually passing the responsibility. He is a world-class talent, 4 Premier League titles, he plays for England. Yeah. He should be cutting in, trying to get a shot off, trying something more than what he did. And it must be, obviously it's no big deal to me, but from a Chelsea perspective, it must be very frustrating.
But I tell you what the funny thing is on that, and people forget this, particularly now we're 3-0 down after half an hour, right? But Chelsea have the third best defence in the Prem this season.
Still now?
Maybe not with the 3 goals conceded, but certainly before this game, we're in top 3, top 4 in terms of goals conceded. So it's been, to be fair, it's been the lack of goals, the lack of any kind of cutting edge in attack. And
has that not been the problem for Chelsea though for about 3 seasons now? I feel like Tuchel, it was always like, can he get the best out of the attacking players? And I remember the season they won the Champions League, Jorginho was your top goal scorer with
in the
like
Premier
12 or goals or something like that. I know it was a lot of penalties or whatever, but the fact that you've got Jorginho competing with Tammy Abraham.
They're starting to put some passes together here. Sorry to interrupt you. Kante's starting to try and break the lines of some passes and look much more ambitious. It's not the best, but it's much more ambitious from Madueke. But to be fair, he was the one in the first half of your team that was trying to do stuff.
Arsenal should just ride it out, though. There'll be 5 or 10 minutes of us having a go.
I think we know that. Yeah, we have to be sensible, and when your attacks break down, we have to not be rash as well. And I mean, obviously, again, it partly comes down to transfers and how you guys spend money, to what you were speaking about before, because. Sorry, I just had to take a breath while we cut away.
That press was looking very close, boy.
But you guys did go and spend how much money on Lukaku, and then that didn't work out, and he had to go. And at the moment, you don't want him, but Milan also don't want him. And this is the stuff that comes with not sensible spending.
You can't blame the club for Lukaku. I don't think. The only thing is,
can't blame the club for Lukaku.
No, I blame 100% the club for Lukaku.
You're both in responsibility for that
because of his past attitude problems.
I think for me, firstly, listen, the interview thing was not good. I think we can all agree with that. It wasn't a smart timing, and it wasn't a smart decision to do. But when I actually listened to the interview and I listened to the context of what was being said, I'm like, he's basically saying Tuchel tactically isn't using me correctly.
Correct.
I love
which he's
Milan,
which
he was right, if I'm not mistaken. I love Inter Milan, and someday I hope to go back there. Now, as I said, probably bad timing, but what he said in there, there's nothing criminal.
I agree.
There's no like, I can't stand Tuchel. Do you know what, Chelsea? It's not really as great as I thought it'd be. Like there was no,
and not just that.
In my eyes. And I feel like he was almost.
Have we stopped for something here?
It was almost like blackballed out, if you like.
You forget though.
Just stopped here for a second on the touchline. I think it might be battery change, maybe.
You forget though that the day before that interview came out, he'd scored a brace.
Yeah, he'd just come back from injury, and the past 2 or 3 games he'd just scored coming back. I remember, and I was like, I think he might be about to turn the corner.
The interview wasn't released at that time.
No,
the interview was released at that time, but wasn't recorded at that time.
Recorded in
so it came at the worst possible time. Maybe that's even down to the broadcaster, but from you as a player's perspective, if you go and record that interview, that's a foul. Referee.
No, it is, and I agree with that. But I also think like the reaction from it has been overblown in my eyes. Even like bombing him out to Inter Milan.
Your players stopped passing to him. Your players had him clear after the interview came out. Your players stopped passing to him on the pitch. So that's overblown.
How are you going to trust a player that does that?
Listen, he's a £100 million striker. You're in the 18-yard box. Just give him the ball. You don't have to like him.
The thing is, as I said, what he said in the video, tactically Tuchel was not getting the best out of him. That was a £100 million signing who'd come in after an incredible Euros. In my eyes, I've always said, to get the best out of Lukaku, you have to build a team towards him. Whether that's Belgium, whether that's Everton,
that's most big strikers,
Inter. And Chelsea, you felt like now, they've just won the Champions League. They don't really have like an identity too short. All right, we're going to give you this big guy, build around him. And he didn't see that maybe in the first one. So I kind of understood his gripes a little bit. The thing is, I'm trying to understand both sides. My thing I don't get is since he's gone on loan to Inter, the Chelsea fans who are like, no chance he comes back. I don't want him near my club. And I'm like, what? Why are we going on like he spat on the badge and cursed out Roman Abramovich's mum? And I'm like, no. If Pochettino comes in the summer and says, I'm building around Lukaku, you're going to, and Lukaku scores 2 in the first 4, you're all going to be kissing the badge and saying, Rom is back.
So my point on that is, and you make the point yourself, Thomas Tuchel won the Champions League and was widely credited as being the man that did it. So why?
Oh my God! It's over the line.
Goal, isn't it?
No, ref didn't give the goal.
I think Thiago's just come off the line.
Yeah, just come off the line.
I said it earlier. Thiago loves an off-the-line clearance. I swear to you. Someone needs to put together a compilation of all the ones he's done at Chelsea.
That's not even in his top 3.
Mate. There was one in the Champions League just a couple of weeks ago. Incredible, bro.
See that again.
Special trait. That is a clean header.
Gabby Jesus.
Oh no, that is perfectly off the line.
Jesus?
Look at that,
Gabriel.
I want to see the technology here.
You know what that is?
That looked like it was in.
High IQ.
Nah, it's on the line.
Yeah.
That is high IQ. That is experience there. He's like, all right, where's this going? Where am I going to go? I see the jump. Okay, let me read that. Boom. Control. That's Brazilian composure right there. You see.
For sure.
Not everybody can be born with that. Some man would have tried to knee that and it would have scuffed in. You know, we all seen it once.
With the Lukaku thing, it even goes back before Tuchel to the ownership, because wasn't he bought in and he wasn't necessarily a player. Yeah, Tuchel didn't actually want him. So you can't go and spend £100 million on players that...
So even more of my thing, though.
Yeah.
Even more of my thing. Now you got rid of Tuchel. Now bring him back into the fold.
But here's my point on Lukaku, though, right? Thomas Tuchel is basically immortal among Chelsea fans at that moment. So what good is it going to do you bad-mouthing like... and I'm trying to think...
It wasn't bad-mouthing, though. That's the point they're making. Release him. Saka's in behind. What can we do here?
Oh, my God.
Lovely.
Coming
Granit Xhaka.
Is this the hammer? Oh, my God. He's trying to nutmeg. Oh, my God.
Oh,
so
my
close.
God. So close.
It's just defending.
Granit Xhaka. Oh, my God.
Nah, he's feeling himself. He's feeling himself, boy.
He's got the most beautiful smile in all of the Premier League. When Granit Xhaka's happy and on form.
Kante.
Oh, my God.
Kante's smile.
I know. It was a tongue-in-cheek comment, but still.
Oh, that for fun.
Who's that 33? Fofana.
Fofana.
Oh, he got sent back to Leicester. Oh, my days.
He's had a bad game today.
Yeah. He should have hammered that.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah, he's not the guy for placement. He's just got to smash it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't.
Sorry, but you were saying.
I was talking about, wasn't I, about Tuchel being immortal at that time. Yeah, but the thing is, I would agree that it was...
with the corner here. Sorry, just one.
Oh, Gabby Jesus!
Gabriel.
That's an Aubameyang moment. It's an Aubameyang. He does that so often where he just can't get good contact on the ball. It's a difficult one. It's coming down from it's got to do better. It's not difficult.
No, bro.
That's standard. He's got to, at minimal. Look at this. He's at minimal got to get that on target. Minimum.
It's a horrible angle.
He gets paid £100 a week. I don't care. He's got all week to train for that.
Switch it.
He's got all week to train.
Nah, you've got to finish out.
He's a number 9. If that's any other player, fair enough. He's a number 9. Do you know what I mean?
Forget that Pep never played him there. That's why he left, isn't it?
Yeah.
I agree.
But this was supposed to be the move where he proves that he is. How many big chances missed does he have this season?
He's missed a lot, but he's
very good. Though.
He sits in between that link-up play and the final ball. Do you know the final action play? But there's definitely better actual strikers out there.
Oh my God!
Here we go.
That is a lovely
Chilwell
move from
again.
Chelsea on the left.
He's got to send it.
Bodies in the box.
Terrible cross. Terrible cross.
I thought it was almost going in though.
Yeah, Madueke was there. If the cross was there, I'm just saying Tierney puts in a better cross than that. I'm just saying.
What? But I'll say this though, I wouldn't have even blamed Chilwell for just having a pop from there. I'm not even joking.
Nah, he's never scored from there.
Did he actually try to go for it though?
The end product
I think he might have
gone. I think he might have gone for that.
I think he did.
I think he might have actually tried to go for that.
If he did, that's outrageous.
The end product is just so bad on the other.
Hey, Gabriel might be injured here.
That's a hammer blow.
Nah, definitely not. You know, trying to speak things into existence.
Nana. Hey, he's holding that hammy.
Don't worry about that.
Let's see.
Hey, let me see you stretch, big man.
I just hook him personally. If at this point,
I'd give it 5-10 minutes, and then exactly. That's what I was saying before. This is exactly what I'm saying. If it's half an hour. 35 minutes still a long time to play football. Oh, there's the boy, Gabby Saliba.
Saliba there watching on in his... I don't even know what you'd call that hat.
What stuns me is how Saliba was getting mocked, but even by Arsenal fans, who was out on loan, not playing, brought in to not play.
Getting mocked?
Well, not mocked in the sense that he went out on loan, he never played for that first 2-3 years he was at the club from memory. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, he went out on loan, but I don't think he was getting mocked.
He's come back and just been
even in there's like he's taking the ball off Mbappe and beat him in like challenges, and like when he was out in France, he was very, very highly rated, and he was highly rated as one of the
season.
Maybe not mocked. I mean, if anything, the conversation was, does he even stay at Arsenal? He's that good. That was the conversation.
Oh, was it?
Why have we gone that way? We had 2 over on the left.
Be a slicing us open.
Yeah, Chilwell's going to get dusted here. So you can't leave Saka one-on-one with someone like Chilwell. He's going to get dusted every time.
Nah. Sterling's press is pissing me off. I can't lie to you.
You Zinchenko?
You know them wingers that track back, but they don't want to track back, so they just stand there.
Oh, that's a great throw.
That's a recovery, Thiago.
Yeah, Saka's too good to be one-on-one with not every fullback, but most fullbacks.
Oh,
it's a great
that's
tackle.
a great tackle.
That's all experience from Azpilicueta there.
Nonni,
that's all he can do because you can't win a foot race.
Look, this is it. Just move the ball. Yeah. That's all we got to do. We don't have to get a goal right now.
This is where you turn into mini Barcelona. You just got to do come chase us.
It's sad watching you just toy with us though. That almost...
Chilwell's got none of that. Chilwell's got none of it.
Oh, go on, have it.
Chilwell's got none of it. Oh, if that went in, oh my God. Chilwell is getting he had that one shoulder barge against Saka, but other than that, he's getting dusted.
I thought that was in.
He is getting absolutely dusted every time. Every other team doubles up on Saka. As soon as I saw that, I said in the first...
Yeah, you said that.
It's the first time for weeks I've seen Saka be able to run at someone one-on-one.
Oh, shit. Bad ball.
He's nothing.
Should have touched it.
And Havertz,
an opportunity there.
No end product here, I don't think. Let's see.
Havertz is standing up against Ben White. Nice Kivior.
I suppose he got a ball in. So.
Where's Jesus? What on earth are you doing? Where are you?
I said the other week when I was watching the...
this brother plays any position that isn't the 9,
I said, yeah. If you really watch Jesus, he drops even deeper than Harry Kane.
Oh, 100%, bro.
I saw him breathing the same oxygen air as Gabriel. I said, bro, these are not yours.
He wants to be a key. He's
what
the guy.
Are you doing back
he
here?
wants to play any.
He
must hate the number 9 shirt. He wants to play any position that isn't a 9. Honestly,
Jesus.
But yeah, Jesus. But I want another striker in the summer, not because he's bad, but just for a different option. Because he isn't the natural ball across the box, get between the defender and the goalkeeper, get a tap it. He's not. It doesn't do that. Doesn't come naturally to him. He's capable, but that's not the natural part of the game. The natural part is to hold up and link up, just like how Liverpool had. Let's see how close this shot was.
Like a better.
I actually don't think you should do that.
We're bringing a different striker.
I actually think you should ride one more year.
No, but we need a different. Even if we upgrade on Nketiah, I'm saying I want to keep him, but I want to add a striker. I want to keep Jesus, but I want a different type of striker for winning a game. If we had someone like Olivier Giroud, as much as it pains me to say, sometimes late.
I don't know what it is about Jesus, but I swear to you,
he's a baller.
I can just feel a 20-goal season.
He's a baller. What it is about him is that he's a baller. He just
the dots are there. They're just waiting to be connected.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, this guy. There's gonna come a year when he connects us. And
Trossard.
I knew it.
That's a great ball. That is an outrageous ball.
Oh my
well
God.
Well done for Fana there.
Why is Trossard so good at football? It doesn't make any sense. He's so good.
I was at the Amex watching him just tear us apart with Brighton this season.
You know what baffles me?
And now here we go. Martinelli coming on now. Who's 90? Is this Trossard coming off?
I'm about to cry. Like,
there's just why? Bro, this Arteta guy kills me.
Trossard's 4 minutes.
Trossard's coming off, and Martinelli's coming on, and he should be getting the full 90. If anything, Saka should come off, not because of bad performances, but because of rotation.
Well, put Trossard through the middle, even.
100%. This Trossard guy is the Swiss Army knife of ball. He can play anywhere in the front four. He can do anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's good. I think Martinelli will probably go on and score, to be fair, based on how Chelsea are playing. But, you know, Trossard, he deserves a full 90. The only reason you might take him off is maybe, I know, Reece Nelson comes on late for Saka. But it's fine. I did say give it 10, 15 minutes and start rotating. So let me not complain now.
It's 5
It does
subs
just
nowadays,
seem like a funny one to
5
make.
subs.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right,
Yeah, but 3 stoppages.
Yeah. So we've only got 4 subs and 2 stoppages left.
Yeah. For me, I'm baffled at his lack of usage of Emile Smith-Rowe and Nketiah for me in this.
Emile Smith-Rowe is a complete enigma. I don't know what's going on there. He was our top goal scorer last season. And again, he's another player that can play central, can play in the 10, could even play in the 8.
What Trossard, what you lost Trossard for, he was that last year.
Oh, it's a poor pass from Zinchenko, and this is where we start to lose concentration. Get in front, no shot.
It's just so blunt.
Tepid, innit?
Let's see.
To who?
Yeah, it's not really to anyone there. Ref will take that foul.
Assaulting Zinchenko.
No foul? Okay, interesting.
Hey, that is a ball. Is it?
It's just absolutely
It is?
nothing.
Nah, man, you lot ain't hungry, man.
No foul on Zinchenko.
You lot don't want to eat. You lot deserve to go home hungry today.
Do you know what, Fuad, though? I would get annoyed, I would get angry, but it's been the same movie all season, so I can act like I'm surprised, but it would be acting, because I've just come to expect this rubbish from us.
I'm like that with Spurs, honestly.
It's just like...
Here's Gabby up against Azpilicueta. This is what I've been waiting for.
Meep, meep.
Tonight we're dining, boys. We're dining. We're eating good.
If he gets one more goal, he's officially the highest scoring Brazilian in Premier League for a single season as well, because he's tied with Firmino on 15 at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been impressed with Noni tonight. He's the only Chelsea player I look at, and I think at least he's having a go.
He's putting himself about, yeah.
He's just having a go, and that's all I wanted.
Sloppy passing again from Arsenal. This is where we lose it. Concentration. This is where the naivety is. You see, what makes City so terrifying is if they're 4-0 up, they just keep doing exactly the same thing. They will not change it. They won't say, let's start doing this. No, they just keep doing what they do. Yeah. And that's where we have to get to from a mental perspective. That's a great pass again from Ben White.
Go wide. Oh
my God.
Yo.
Oh my God. They're trying to get Martinelli to score. This phase of play is outrageous.
Don't force it though, man.
We'll take the corner. We'll take the corner.
Nah, that's a goal kick.
That's a corner. That's a corner.
Come on.
Question for you, Nick. When you saw us lose every week under Potter, did you see any similarity to Arsenal under Arteta when it got back? Because that was the kind of straw that was being clutched on by a lot of Chelsea fans. And I think that it's probably not. I mean, I'd be keen to...
No, we played really good attacking football. With Arteta, what we could see... The difficulty that you had was that money. I know we always come back to money. We've been saying it about Chelsea for 20 years now about their money. But the difficulty was in Arteta's first window. He came in January, or came in December. And in that January window, he got Cedric Suarez and Pablo Mari on loan.
I remember that.
That was his window.
I remember.
And do you know what I remember as well? David Luiz got his contract renewed, and that was the next year.
And then the next year, now we're breaking up. Chelsea breaking away.
Wow. 4-on-2 Chelsea here. Kante absolutely fluffs it.
Yeah, terrible.
Absolutely. Chose the wrong pass and it's fallen to Noni.
But I could have told you
relax. That's much
for nothing.
No end products.
Yeah, it's really
Even
poor.
in a 4-on-2,
I
could have said that...
Not just was it a 4-on-2, the two that were back for Arsenal were, one of them was Odegaard, so it's not even like two defenders. It's play
1.5.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I have no faith that we'll score that, and that's the crux of why we're so bad, that any point in season, you give me any
Look at this. They're all there.
Shadow Moses, I'm sorry, you're right. He said, Fuad, chill, man. These men don't score. Yeah, I did get a little too excited.
I said that at the start of the season.
I did get excited.
Even Madueke was pointing. Madueke is pointing to his right, telling Kante where to play the ball, and the ball just wouldn't come.
But see, we are getting in behind a little bit, but as I say...
Look, now we're on the opposite way. Chilwell's out of position.
Saka
against Thiago.
Versus Thiago's 38-year-old groins.
And
Enzo comes back.
See, I'm impressed with Enzo there.
Oh, but he's gone down though. Enzo.
That's just what we don't need right now.
And
then we're gonna put the ball out
that
for
looks
him.
a painful one as well. No, Aspie said, fuck that, let's go. We are going to get some goals, guys.
Yeah, strange decision not to put it out, because you guys are the ones that need that time.
Here, man. What are you lot?
And there we go. Not great defending from Arsenal, but just enough to stand him up.
Nobody care about Enzo on your team, bruv. Look at him. Oh no, he got back up. He got back up. He's there. He's hovely.
That's like when Reece James is down injured and Enzo and Mudryk are playing the ball back and forth.
Is this
like,
just
get him, man. Stop faking it, bro.
It's like they don't. It's like.
What a ball, Noni! Is he?
Yeah,
there it is.
3-1.
Noni Madueke.
Hey, Shadow. Hey,
who's played that ball? Who's played that ball through?
That's
3-1 Chelsea.
Do you know what? I'm gonna say I think he deserved that.
I was gonna say if anybody deserves it, he does.
And I'm glad
and he's running the ball back to the centre circle and trying to get the game going again.
Oh, Gabriel down.
Is that broken now?
He deserved that.
Nothing's broken there.
I'm really
Let's have a look at this. Is this Enzo?
I think Cover.
And it goes to Kovacic.
Oh, what a
And a lovely
perfect
run.
onside as well.
Great run.
Lovely time. Good touch.
That's a delicious goal.
We'll take it. Good finish.
Yeah, it's poor from the keeper though, to be fair. But
it's something.
I think Gabriel might flick off it actually. I think Gabriel might be a Gabriel on goal.
I'm just delighted I've seen a Chelsea goal.
Flicks off the floor. That's really poor from Ramsdale.
I'm happy I've seen a goal.
Ooh, Arsenal 3-1. 2 goals lead given away. Can Chelsea put a comeback on?
Oh no, if that's just something for me to take home tonight. Even if
I'm leaving with something at least.
I'm taking that home. Noni's opened his Chelsea account.
This is what I'm saying. 25 minutes left. Just get Gabriel off. Get Holden on. Get Gabriel off. Give you can go back to his position.
That's something to hold on to for me. That shows how little we've had this season.
Ooh,
that's
hold on. I see a little blonde head moving there in the background.
Mudryk's getting ready.
Is it time
One more goal in the next 10 minutes. Let's see. It's not going to happen, right? We don't score goals.
Yo, Gabriel's been hobbling around for about 15 minutes now, you know.
I would just get him off.
really think you should sub him off.
100%. I would sub him off, and if we really wanted to shut up shop, we could even bring on Partey and get Odegaard off.
You know what's crazy? Imagine subbing him off, Holding comes on, straight away mistake, 3-2.
Nah, but it's a much you could listen. Holding's it would be fun. Listen,
let's have a game, shall we?
Yeah. Let's respect Holding. He's the only one that scored against Man City. He's the only one that scored against Man City, so he's just as likely to go up the other end and get a goal.
You do your primary job, though.
Are you suggesting that you're going to need more goals to win this game, Nick?
Nah, listen, I said 4-1. I said 4-1. Yeah, it's the wrong Blondie that's getting warmed up.
I'm sorry.
We were getting excited for Mudryk, and it's Conor Gallagher warming up now.
I'm glad I've never been told I look like Mudryk, because that would be ridiculous.
But yeah, we were saying about the Arteta comparisons to Potter. I just think that the money that you guys spent, Arteta have dealt with nothing. And with that team at that time, you said there's no patterns of play. With us, we could see the pattern of play he wanted to play, and we could see that the players just weren't the right players. Not even terrible players. They were terrible, but I'm trying to be polite. Some of them were terrible, but incapable of doing what the actual instructions were. Do you know what I mean?
He played the same shape every week, didn't he? And wanted to play the same way, and it just didn't.
We did still flick between a back five and a back four and stuff like that, but we could see, generally speaking, what he was trying to do. You know, we had a back three of Socrates, Mustafi, and Louise at one point.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's dark times, and we still were never 11.
Good stuff, man.
You beat us in the cup.
That's a great pass from Zinchenko.
It's a great in the cup final.
We did, yeah.
Weak back three, wasn't it?
Man.
It was a similar back three.
Who's gone down there?
Jesus, I think.
I don't think it was.
Just
got
orange
one
at the back of the head. If it's orange boots, then it might be Gabriel.
We've actually got a goal, you know.
That's a great pass. There he is.
You guys are so good.
Martinelli, come on, give me something. Jesus playing anywhere but the number 9 again. Out wide this time. He don't like his position. And big credit to Gabriel for trying to keep on playing. He's obviously carrying some sort of knock or some sort of pain, but he's trying to play through it.
Why?
Listen, if it's going to do long-term damage,
he should. It's this Arteta guy. He just honestly, once he's got his favourites, he doesn't want to rotate anything. It kills us, honestly. And this is good. Like, we're just playing it around the back, and it's not anything too. But once it's not anything too exciting. But once you guys get a goal, okay, we'll settle things down. Let's just take control of this game and settle things down a little bit. And that's exactly what we want to see.
I'd be keen I'd be excited to see if we could pinch another. But I think the fact we got one is treat enough for me this evening.
Now Sterling's coming over to double up on Saka. 68 minutes into the game, they've just worked out that maybe we should double up on this Saka guy. It's taken 70 minutes.
I see your point now, though, on Arsenal holding on to games, because even though we've been bad and you're still going to win this game, I can see that you've given us chances, you've given us a little, like, you've left the door open. That was it. And
great
Against
challenge.
City at 3-0 down, we're seeing 6-7 goals in and saying good night.
100%.
So I can see.
I mean, even like Martinelli's come on and he's touched the ball 3-4 times. He's gone backwards every time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so we're waiting. I'm waiting for him to get cooking.
Playing safe, yeah.
I'm waiting for the Dutch pot to come out. Do you know what I'm saying? And he's maybe it's instructions. I don't know. I mean, he will. I still think he'll get a goal. And I did say 4-1.
Yeah.
Because we struggle to keep clean sheets even at home. We struggle with that concentration.
You said 3-1 for Fuad, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
I'm bang on the money at the moment. Chris Talks Footy sends in a super chat. He says, even after 650 million spent, Chelsea fans should be on their knees kissing the feet of Thomas Tuchel, who saved Chelsea from relegation. And let's be honest, he's right.
Yeah,
because they're still relying on his majority of his points and actually to keep them up this year. If Thomas Tuchel was sacked before the season started, Chelsea might be heading for the Championship, not the Champions League.
It'd be interesting to know what would have happened, because there was talk after we got pumped by Arsenal in America that he was going to go then, and they actually.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Someone just reminded me, high and filthy. I did change my prediction to 2-2.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on then, wake up.
I'm glad that the chat's there to remember.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, no. Sometimes they be trying to catch me out. You know me. I'll be lying.
Enzo's come off.
Yeah, he just picked
For
up a knock
fitness,
there just a minute ago, so to be
Oh,
fair, it makes
it's
sense
Mudryk.
as a precaution.
4-4-2, is it?
Mikhailo Mudryk
Mudryk's
is
on and
finally
Gallagher's
on.
on. Here we go. And Sterling's off.
I just want to see him run at the Arsenal defence.
I think this looks better. Especially with a slightly injured Gabriel, I think this looks better. Mikhailo Mudryk's got bags of pace. And with Conor Gallagher, you've got a natural attacking, closer to a number 10 attacking midfielder that's going to look to slot passes in and break the lines, which we didn't necessarily have before. So, and apparently Mudryk has come on to a hail of boos, which you'd expect.
Why?
Why has he done that?
It's not his fault. He's still an Arsenal fan.
It took about 2 months to post that he was even at Chelsea after he signed for them. He didn't seem very happy about it.
I'm telling you now, he does not like your club.
No, he's bantered it now. He's bantered Arsenal now.
No, now he's just trying to get fans on side because he's realised, I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
Like, I got to live with it.
I don't know why he agreed to.
I think if Arsenal won a title this year, we would have probably seen him at the parade in some capacity.
100%.
I genuinely think so.
100%.
What? I live in London now.
I got lost. I couldn't tell what shoes line I was on.
Oh, red? I was just wearing this.
I heard he's bought a house in North London.
Is that a joke?
Yeah, it's a joke.
I'm glad it is. I don't know what to believe anymore,
That is crazy.
Another corner. And if Gabriel seriously has an injury, I'm going to be pissed at Arteta. This is what he does. I told you how stubborn he is. This is what he does.
But I suppose the argument would be that if we now score a second goal, would you be nervous without him on the pitch?
I mean, if we concede 2 goals with him on the pitch, then what's the point?
True. Thing is, we relied on a magic moment for that goal. Really, that ball to Noni.
But we will keep giving you moments. It's just you will dominate the ball so much. Oh yes, here we go. Reece Nelson getting some minutes. Fresh legs, exactly what we need, and Tierney coming on as well. Tierney's had very little football, so I'm not sure how he's going to perform. But come on, mate, sort the board out, fella. Come on.
Who we got on the right?
Come on, mate. You've got one job.
What I'm slightly surprised at is Noni never plays 90 minutes. He never did for PSV, and I heard that from Dutch fans too in the last few weeks that he never played 90. So I'm surprised Lampard's not taking him off.
Maybe start playing him 90.
I'm glad he deserves to stay on. I'm not.
Probably be your best player today.
It's what I want, but I'm
here we go.
surprised that he's
Saka coming off for Reece Nelson.
Finally.
Which I don't mind that. Let's rest him. 3-1 up. Let's rest him. And mate, I love this. Having this squad finally where we can have Reece Nelson and Martinelli coming on late when we're 3-1 up.
Yeah.
We haven't had that for so long. To have fresh legs come on and be just very dangerous. Reece Nelson will be chomping at the bit for a goal. Obviously, Arsenal Academy. So,
get involved in
and like I say, Tierney typically is a little bit more sensible defensively.
Let's go here. Mudryk here. Let's see what we can do.
Mikhailo.
Let's see what we can do here. Nice.
Okay.
We like that.
Couple nice, neat touches from Mudryk early on. Back post, little chip here.
Yeah. Good.
Too much on
try,
Aspie.
though. Good try.
Chelsea still keep the ball here.
Go on.
Kante out to Aspie.
Hello there. I think this second half we've actually the players have had a go. They've had a go, and
you win a 1-0 in the half.
And I suppose that's all you can ask, really. I mean, it shows where we're at as a club.
Big up Suarez with a super chat as well. He says, Fuad, what made you like Tottenham Hotspurs?
We had that chat, didn't we?
Yeah, before we started film. Well, when I came from Amsterdam.
Mudryk's in behind.
Mudryk
Release
in
it.
behind.
Great tackle.
No.
That would have been a golden moment if he'd got his goal.
That's a great tackle.
Right
I think it was Gabriel that makes that tackle as well.
But yeah, when I came from Amsterdam, basically lived in Tottenham. Went to school across the road from the stadium, Northumberland Park. Probably renamed to something else now. It was a really rough school in my time. But yeah, so just supported your local, innit? I guess.
Gotta respect that.
Yeah. Also, I had a severe hatred for Arsenal fans as well. So, like before,
we're probably passing it around you in triangles at school.
Do you know what it was? It was you know, were just the Arsenal fans at my school were trying to force me to support Arsenal.
Yeah.
And you know when someone's trying to force you to do something, you're like, nah, I'm doing the complete opposite.
Looks like Noni's now down injured. That's what happens when he plays more than 70 minutes.
Maybe this is why. Maybe this is why.
I'd be devastated for him. And I mean, yes, the coaching would be bad if he's now got a bad injury, but he doesn't deserve that after the fact that he's really had a go today. And
yeah,
if he is injured, let us hope he's not. But
also, Mudrik's been in London how many months now? How long do we give him before he's got to slap a fade on that thing, blood? Do you know what I'm saying? That's
ball
good.
cutting.
Yeah. I mean,
Kunta says here, Nick hates Kivior. Every time he does something good, he says it's someone else. You want to say
to be in my defence? To be fair, I really liked him. I'm not used to seeing him on the pitch. I'm not used to seeing him yet. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know man's bodily dimensions and that.
Familiarity.
But no, I've been impressed with him so far today, and I've been so nervous seeing him start, and he hasn't been bad. So yeah, man, shout out to Kivior for sure. Jakub.
I must say, if I hadn't seen him, if I
previously,
hadn't heard from Arsenal fans that they were nervous, and I didn't know who the back four were, I wouldn't have singled him out as someone that's not played this season a lot. Like he's slotted in like a glove today.
Aspilicueta desperately trying to bust the gut to press, but you just can't do that against Martinelli.
He's caring.
You know the problem is he's too old.
He's having a go.
But anyone that tries to do that against 3 Arsenal players, they're gonna have a long day.
Can't just hoof it out. Well, why would you? Oh, okay. I see this is what I like. Look at it. Oh. At least he's in the wars. We like that.
Yeah, the game's much more open now, much more matching each other.
I'm surprised Arsenal have allowed that, but to be fair, we have improved in that time. I would say that.
But what you've got now, and is that going to be a free kick? Yeah, it is going to be a free kick. Very, very sloppy. Yeah, I mean, it is a free kick. It's a sloppy one. The ball's going out of play, but we do give away a free kick in a somewhat dangerous area. But yeah, the shape that you're now going to play with Conor Gallagher in there, when we talk about midfield balance,
leading the press,
that's what you need. You know, that's the difference. You know, you've got someone who's closer to a number 10. Your midfield before was just very flat.
And this is why I've personally not been as critical of Gallagher as most Chelsea fans. Like, I think he's not necessarily been in the role that he's best at, but I don't think I think it is too early to say that he's not good enough. I think he can be good enough, again, under the right coach. I think give him half a season under Poch and just see. Maybe it doesn't work.
So you're pretty resigned to Poch being the next manager, basically?
In a good way. Like, I'm glad, but I think it will be him. Yeah.
Mudryk free kick here.
Good free kick.
Is that a hand?
It's right. It was, but it's right in front of his body.
I mean, I just want something exciting, so I want a pen there, make it 3-2.
Last 10 minutes, please give us some hair-raising moments.
Mudryk on set pieces is interesting as well. You don't really.
It's surprising.
You've got a lot of like set piece takers in your team, so to see that, and we need Aaron Ramsdale here again. Like I always say from the corners, he's got no protection there, Ramsdale.
That's not a bad one again from Mudryk.
Oh no, I was going to say I can't remember when we last scored from a corner, but actually,
we'll take that. We'll take that. Thank you. We'll take that.
Yours, isn't it?
We'll definitely take that.
Thing is, what's as a Chelsea fan, what upsets me is that if this game ends 3-1, to an extent, you're happy you've won the game, and I'm happy we've not been humiliated.
I know what you mean. Madueke is off now.
For Ziyech now.
I think that's probably a good decision, even if I want to watch another 10 minutes of that boy. Spurs Academy, of course, Fuad.
Madueke, lost him on a free to PSV because he wouldn't sign the seniors contract because didn't see a pathway into the first team, considering we're a club who doesn't really promote youth. But in my opinion, one of the big ones we lost, him and Marcus Edwards, I've always said. Going on to see what.
But that's kind of a given. Great battling by Reece Nelson, by the way. We'll take that free kick, referee. We'll take that. Thank you.
Nasty tackle from Kovacic.
Let's see a card. Thank you. I mean, the refs let a lot of fouls go.
Wouldn't be his first.
He looked like he went off the ground there, though.
Wouldn't be his first.
I need to see it again.
Let's see here.
Yeah,
it's probably not red.
Yeah, it's an orange. But no, it's a yellow card.
It's one foot. If he went in with 2 feet, that's
His studs were low enough. But yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying about Madueke in the Tottenham Academy, you've got to expect that for most top 6 clubs. You know, if you're going to go to a big 6 club, they have the pressure to bring in stars and to, do you know what I'm saying? They don't have the luxury of bringing in youth players unless you time it perfectly.
Do you know what's funny though? Up until we got Kulusevski,
he could have played
from Gareth Bale in 2013 to Kulusevski in 2022.
That's a great touch. You're going to say there's been a youth player in every team. Yeah, I think
you could have, like, he literally, him or Marcus Edwards on the right side, left footers cutting in, could have easily had their chance. Now, Pochettino, I think, didn't like Edwards' attitude, got rid of him. Cool. Madueke, I didn't hear no attitude issues of him. When I saw him go to PSV, he was pretty much bang on one of the key up-and-coming youngsters you could see.
But do you know what it is?
Like, what the hell?
Availability, though, Fuad, as you say.
I would have even taken that gamble. Even more of a reason why you can keep
Is
him
he from London?
Yeah.
I think that when people are from here or from like they're playing football in their home city, there can be a lot of distractions. You go out to Eindhoven where you don't know
that
anyone.
That is one thing he did say as well.
You get that discipline. You know, you start getting.
Give credit to for that as well, and people might not like it. But Jadon Sancho, I think he set a trend for the youngsters. I think previously you might have got some of the older players, the Woodgates, the Micah Richards, the Fiorentina randomly.
Ashley Cole.
They would try Ashley Cole going to Roma. Like the senior players might have tried it, but the younger players would be like, no. Send me on loan to Colchester or Blackpool or whatever. But when Jadon Sancho took that gamble at Dortmund and it worked well for him, now you're seeing Bino Gittins coming through.
We spoke about Reece Nelson when Hoffenheim.
Reece Nelson when he went to Hoffenheim. Hudson-Odoi when he went to Leverkusen. I'm sure was thinking along those lines as well.
Yeah.
We've seen Ademola Lookman, what he's doing in Serie A at the moment. So it's I feel like it started like a new trend almost.
Gabriel was holding his ankle again and was down again, and we're still not bringing him off.
Those vibes.
Keep going, Arteta. Keep going.
Those vibes when Lookman scored that first goal for it was Everton, wasn't it, against
Great
City?
Touch.
It was.
Look, he's injured. Look, he's asking to come off now, Gabriel, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we've left it this long. It's ridiculous.
Because I understand now there's no chance we're coming back. Because at 70, I can understand.
There's always a chance. There's always a chance. I know what you're doing, but there's always a chance.
No, genuinely, I would be.
And we still play it to him. He's bloody. It's just play it someone else, for God's sake. Oh my God.
Yo, let's get the lights up through the stream as well, guys. We're into the last 10 minutes here.
I've actually genuinely enjoyed the second half, believe it or not.
Well, winning 1-0, innit? So at least you're leaving with something, you know what I mean? Won the second half today.
Goal to cling on to, and a goal for a young player who probably needed it.
We need to get on the ball and start playing our football again. We've allowed Chelsea for the last 10 minutes, no foul there. We've allowed Chelsea for the last 10 minutes to play their football, and we've got to start playing our football again.
I think, although I did see the stats pop up that it's still been a very dominant half for Arsenal, even if we've got the goal.
It's a great pass. Keep moving the ball. Now, Reece Nelson's gone. Release him.
Played that first
Release
time.
him. He ain't got the tech for that. That's what I'm saying. That's where I would upgrade. That's where I would upgrade him.
Reece Nelson here on the right, taking on Chilwell. He's going to chop it back to Ben.
Someone's got to show for that. Someone's got to show for that. Granit Xhaka's free. That's a great pass.
Wow.
Ben White.
Nice
Love that.
pick.
Goal.
He's unlocked it. Oh, what
That's
a save.
lovely play there, though.
Yeah. Jesus wanted the ball, but he's entitled to...
It's not a pen.
Are we calling for a foul there? The ref's not blown it. Carry on playing then. What are you doing?
I don't think it's a pen, but...
Hey, I was actually going to ask you, like, since I said my Tottenham Hotspur's origin story, what about for your supporting your club's origin story? Is it like a family down pass thing?
Now, my dad supports Nottingham Forest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're our family name's Francis, and we're Jamaican. I think the first £1 million player was Trevor Francis, who's from Jamaica, or Jamaican descendant. So my dad's got 5 brothers, and they all support different teams. And my granddad Spurs, United, Watford. They all support Newcastle. So none of them support Arsenal. But when I started playing, I used to play for Hampton and Richmond back in the day, and just on the floor passing football was it just came so naturally to me. And so I saw the way Arsenal played, and it was very much similar style of football. And so that's how and obviously it's a London club as well. That's what it was straight away.
No, fairs. Around what time? What was your kind of like favorite player growing up? Would you say?
Robert Pires. A wide,
what a player.
Kind of like a. You wouldn't get players like that so much today, but like a real wide midfielder, not quite an inverted forward or a winger, but a wide midfield player.
He was, for me, the first edition of the inverted winger, though.
Yes,
before they were even, I think, a right footer playing on the left. His feet were facing 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, but he would somehow twist you up. He had incredible. He was one of the few rival players I actually love.
Yeah, he's just a pure footballer, passing, moving,
quality,
super simple.
And Partey
couple more subs coming on for
and
Arsenal
Holding
here.
coming on.
Holding and Thomas Partey coming on for Jorginho.
I'm glad he
and
didn't
Gabriel.
score Jorginho. I don't think he'd have been disrespectful, but I don't want that kind of conversation to be had, to be honest with you.
You don't need any more lumped on top of you, I suppose, at this moment.
What's your kind of origin story?
So for me, it's funny. So neither sides of my family particularly were massive football fans, but my dad actually moved into Earl's Court when he was like probably in his 20s, 30s, back when it wasn't quite as difficult to live in as it is now. I think his property he was living in's gone like ballooned in value over, but he lived there and just decided to go to the Chelsea. And when we weren't good, when we were coming 14th, 15th, a bit like now, and just went every week, and really he's passed it down to me. It's not much more complicated than that. I mean, I've got some other clubs in my life that I always look at fondly. I mean, Chelsea's my team.
Stuff. So I think everyone has that.
So for me, it's Wycombe Wanderers, because they're where I grew up, very near where I grew up, and they're a club that did good for me, like went to their academies and that. And it's Dundee FC in Scotland, because I went to uni around there, so I'm a Dundee supporter. I went to see
got those kind of clubs that they...
Brentford, I played Brentford Academy football, so
Mine is Ajax, grew up like first memory was like some of the early Champions League wins and the final loss and things like that. Yeah, Louis van Gaal, like that club at Ajax team, that's like my first memories of football, if you like. So for me, I've always had like a soft spot for Ajax. Always kept an eye on their scores and things like that.
Yeah, I used to get free tickets to Brentford because I played for their youth team, junior Bs and stuff. So
Griffin Park days.
Griffin Park, yeah.
It's funny when people say on an aside, you mentioned Ajax under Van Gaal. When people say that Van Gaal plays defensive football or boring football, it's such nonsense. That Ajax team played that three.
Even if you look at his Bayern Munich team, just a decade or just over a decade ago, like he was the guy that introduced Robben and Ribéry to the world. Like before him, there was none.
Chelsea did that. With Robben.
Oh, you lot try to do Robben and Duff, and you lot didn't even give Robben. You lot didn't even give Robben a full tryout. See, Bayern, they said, "Yo, we're gonna put the franchise on you."
He wanted to go.
You see what we know was the, you see when the left wing cutting move. That became trademark at Bayern in the Champions League.
He wanted to go.
Yeah, because you lot weren't giving him the chance.
No, we did.
You lot wanted to play up Jesper Gronke and them man and.
Robben was after
Joe Cole on one side and man.
Robben was
after. Here we go. Maybe something here.
Not the player you want there, unfortunately. Kante just picking up great spaces, but not the player that you want in these attacking spaces.
I was going to say, he is doing what Odegaard is doing on the other side. Yeah. It's just not the same technical output.
Yeah.
It's perhaps it's perhaps a bit mean, because I love him as a player and he's my favourite, but I call him almost like, whenever there's a flame going of Chelsea in attack, Kante is like the fire extinguisher. Yeah. Like in the final third, he'll be like, "You boys attacking? No."
But he's a DM. He's been one of the best DMs in the last decade. Do you know what I mean? It's just not his game. Do you know what I mean? So Arteta looks furious, which I just always love to see, because he's just always angry no matter what's happening.
We have to push.
He's never in his technical area either.
Nah, he's just
14 minutes. We have to push.
This is his home ground. He can go where he wants. He can roam.
But it's been professional. It's been professional from Arsenal tonight. Tough position in the title race. Not that I think we kind of gave it to you in the first half, but you come here, you won against a rival, still in the race.
Top of the table.
You're doing what you can do. You're doing what you can do, So
Ben Chilwell putting the brakes on.
This, though.
Nah,
no
get up.
No,
let's go now. Let's go.
Losing the ball and
let's
said,
go.
You know what? Let me take a
Partey, that's poor. Let's be better. Some of the fighters just started to go out a little bit. We're just not winning as many second balls, and Chelsea have left it a little bit late to start fighting now.
We've not given up, but that's a free kick.
This is what Partey does.
I will say, for a London derby, for me, it hasn't been as fiery as I expected.
No.
I definitely expected more spicy.
But we're not, us three teams are normally competing for there or there, but unless you guys are fighting for a title, we're all competing for roughly the same spaces. Whereas in this game, we're really not. So
it is true.
Yeah,
this is probably the first season where it's been like that. Like you guys are up in the titles. We're like barely clinging on to top four. You lot are in the abyss. It's like. It's weird. It's so weird.
I was going to say, though, and this is how depressing it is, Chelsea fan. Since we last won it in 17, we haven't even come within 18 points of the champions. Spurs have done that. Arsenal will do that. We've not come close to winning the Premier League in so
You lot
long.
have never really been, aside from obviously when Jose initiated, you lot have never been
Consistent.
serial title winners.
Yeah.
Like, you lot have always been
Yeah.
like the
Flare-ups.
Every 5 years, we're going to pop
good
up with
free
one
kick.
super team.
Yeah.
And we're out.
But then you hear Chelsea fans go, oh, but the hire and fire worked and we won things. But it's
5
like,
minutes extra added time
We're a
added
cup
on by
team.
the end of the game.
we are a bit of a cup team. It's
Gary
sad to
Martinelli
say.
hasn't done too much since he's been on the pitch, in my opinion. Is that another free kick? Chilwell's probably been you lot's best player across the game.
Noni.
For me,
Noni Madueke, yeah.
Chilwell's not stopped fighting. I respect that. I must say Havertz has improved us since he came.
Someone's shining a laser on
I don't like
on
Havertz, but he's
Mudryk.
come on since. And
Why
improved.
do you not like him?
Well, I guess it's partly the
Guys,
club's
come
fault.
on. Some of this football is just breaking down. The counters are breaking down so easy. We're breaking down with poor passing.
Oh,
We're breaking down with poor passing much the way that you guys were in the first
Yeah.
half. That final ball just isn't quite there.
Not as badly as ours, though.
And a lot of that I put on Arteta again. And I do love Arteta. Let me keep saying that because his fans go mental.
He's done well.
But I put that on Arteta because a lot of Odegaard's not had many minutes with Reece to know his runs and know his movement and different things like that. So that chemistry isn't quite there when really it should be. But there you go. But it's still 3-1 up and 4 minutes left of added time.
Yeah. For me, with Havertz, it's the fact that, and I know it's kind of runs similar to this chat we had earlier, that I just don't think he has any identity on a football pitch. He doesn't know what his best, perhaps, attributes are. And the club, Chelsea, haven't helped him. Like, I'm not here to blame him fully for that. But I've just not seen enough from a player that was meant to be the best young thing coming out of Germany.
Yeah.
He had a good little run in the Champions League. He
scored that goal in the final. I think that solidified him. The same way that the FA Cup win solidified Arteta, that goal
He's leaned on
solidified
that,
him.
The problem is Arteta's been able to build on since that.
Yeah.
Havertz pretty much has been living off that. It's almost like he's moving like how Lucas Moura's moving with that semi-final performance. It's like, yo, I got that moment. You lot can't cuss me. Please.
Should have played him in the final.
Let me give
Should have played him in the final.
Listen, after what you did yesterday, I don't ever want to see his face again, brother. Yeah? Please. I shouldn't have even said his name.
That was hilarious. That was.
He who shall not be mentioned.
That was just Spursy. That was like, if you want a dictionary definition of Spursy, that game was it, I think.
That's the story of us.
For all the money that Chelsea has spent, Richarlison still may end up being flop of the season. 60 million for one goal.
No, mate.
Arthur.
Yeah, people are talking like cracking jokes about 007. I'm like, yo, I was saying we had 0027. I mean, we got to 0033, bruv. Yeah. Like, come on. There's without a question for me, in terms of what you expected from a player and what they've delivered.
I must say,
the price that's been paid and what the output that it's been. I don't even think it's a question, Richarlison. He's flop of the season.
This has been the most bizarre Premier League season ever. I do love that Sam Allardyce is coming back to the party with 4 games to play.
Oh, Reece Nelson has got in. What can we do here? Can we mount a last attack? Come on.
You can keep Leeds up?
Probably not. I mean, I think 4 games for anybody is not
too little, too late.
That's a Frank de Boer. That's a Frank de Boer opportunity. That 4 league games.
It's so tight though. There, do you reckon he can maybe
Big
Sam do the job last second?
I don't think so.
It'd be funny if he did. And
Great run here by Mudryk. There's unfortunately not really anyone to aim
at.
Mudryk!
Oh my God! He got into Havertz.
Listen, it was a great run and great feet. It was really, really good. And you can see, all I'm thinking about whenever I look at Mudryk is if he played for us.
Yeah, in this team.
But there was no one really in there. I know Havertz was arriving late, but there wasn't really anyone in there. Reece Nelson's pretty quick, and Mudryk just breezes past him easily. Sits Ben White down.
Yeah. I mean,
but we're always tidying that up.
But it's something to hold on to as a Chelsea fan. And in recent games...
That is depressing.
In recent games...
Couldn't be me.
You can mock that, man.
Couldn't be me. I can and I will, blood. Do you know what I'm saying?
In recent games, we've not even had that. We've not even had that.
Bang.
That is so desperate.
Bang.
Nah, he's got to shoot that.
Bang. Oh, can we follow up? Oh, Xhaka has the shot.
Giving us this week.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with him.
I need that sledgehammer.
Yeah, nice.
Come on, Xhaka.
Try and pinch another goal. Why not?
Why does Havertz not? Why does Ziyech should have just let that run out for a throw? He tries to do a little step over Cruyff turn, and it just goes straight back to Arsenal again. That's really, really poor. from him.
You guys can mock, but now you know how bad it is to be a Chelsea fan. That today,
I wouldn't mind seeing you man get relegated. I'm not gonna lie.
Today's
I would
probably
love
been
it.
an improvement on some of the recent performances.
Is that a yellow as well? Yeah, it's another yellow. I think that's for Gallagher that time, leaving one on Ben White.
Always gets
Into
yellow.
the last
Cynical
minute
one.
of stoppage time now, guys. Make sure you get the likes up
If you're that
before
way
we
inclined,
wrap up today.
Gallagher to get yellow is always a surefire thing. Whenever he
Very,
plays
very
Chelsea.
clumsy. Very clumsy.
There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need for it. Like, it's at 8, and he only ever comes off the bench. He very rarely starts, and every time he does that exact foul every single time. Emirates Stadium emptying out a wee bit.
Trying to beat the traffic.
Yeah.
And there it is.
There we go.
Game,
Time.
set, and match. It's 3-1 to the Arsenal at the Emirates today.
Has Frank ever beat him?
Back to
Arsenal.
the top of the
Frank
table.
ever beat Arteta? Yeah, he did. He did
actually.
first game.
First ever defeat. The Jorginho. Was Jorginho? I think it was Tammy Abraham's winner.
Yeah.
Back to the top of the table now. Obviously, City got 2 games in hand, but 78 points, 2 points ahead of City.
They can draw. They could drop. They can draw. Even if you saw their game against Fulham, it was tight. It was a really competitive game against Fulham, and I think that City are much more likely to struggle against those lower down teams than the attacking, expansive teams that are going to leave spaces.
What's your kind of takeaway from this game? Are you happy, obviously, before the game coming in, changes, Kivior, Trossard, Jorginho? What did you make of kind of individual performances and an overall team performance as well?
Really, really good performance from the team. Again, similar to the only criticism, and the only reason I'm criticizing or trying to think of criticisms is so that I can be really, really realistic. I don't want to get caught up in the emotion. I don't want anyone to think I'm being negative. Again, there's a 20-minute, 25-minute spell where we score most of our goals. And then the second half, the performance drops off a considerable amount. And so it's a very, very similar story to what we've seen before. The difference is we convert our chances and we only concede 1 consolation goal. But the whole 90 minutes is very similar to what we've seen before, of a short window of us dominating and just peppering their goal with shots, and then we get some goals. But it's something that we can build on.
Do you think it's hard to maintain that kind of gusto for a whole season?
I think it's really difficult.
We've seen Liverpool, City, they've been doing it for year in, year out, and kind of more seasoned, if you like, in doing that. But last year, you kind of saw that in the top 4, you guys kind of gassed out there. And then this year, is it a pacing thing maybe Arteta needs to learn from?
Yeah, I definitely think pacing is an issue, but I also think that having a squad that is all roughly interchangeable in terms of quality. Kivior comes on, he was really, really good today, but in previous performances, that drops a level. We've seen the team without Saliba massively drop to level. We have like a 90% win rate with him in the team, and that's way down in like 65% when he's not in the team. Similar situation of Partey. So there's a big drop off to the bench, and the way that we can address that is obviously signing new players, but the way we can address that throughout the season is squad rotation. When we were flying and slapping teams 3s and 4s and 5s, get Trossard on the pitch, get Reece Nelson on the pitch, get these guys playing together. So when we call upon them, it's a question of rotation and not dropping. Do you know what I mean? You look at Liverpool and all the attackers that they've got, and when they obviously Salah's an unbelievable talent, but they've got Firmino for certain games, Nunes for certain games, Jota for certain games.
Even though they might not be like for like replacement, there's still quality coming in. You take out a Nunes, you're bringing a Gakpo. You take out a Diaz, you're bringing a Jota. You're still getting some kind of output.
For us at the moment, obviously Tomiyasu and Saliba injuries hit us really hard, so we can't account for injuries. But even when the team's fully fit, if we take Saliba out and we put in Holding or Kivior, we drop significantly. Maybe naturally Tomiyasu would be there. So actually we've lost two of that replacement. So we're down to the bare bones in terms of the defence. But that's really the difference. And that's what we've got to learn from going into next season. Obviously getting some new talent in and addressing the weaker areas of our team, but rotating that squad so we can pace ourselves.
Key. Yeah. I see Axel D. Star is in the comments asking, is the Champions League spot confirmed now? I believe the last game, say Tottering Day, was confirmed, and the Champions League, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think we are. There's no way that we can't get Champions League football, yeah. So Champions League football is coming back to the Emirates next season.
Exciting times at the Emirates. And listen, maybe not exciting for you, but first off, 3-0, you kind of got completely washed. But as you were saying there, kind of towards the end, is there something at least to take away from that second half? You won 1-0. But
I mean, something to hold on to. And I think you guys can mock it, but we haven't had that in recent games. We've actually had today some players showing fight, showing what they can do on the pitch. And I think that's all we can ask, because the first half was a bit of a joke, defensively very poor. But at least we had a bit of a go. And I mean, 3-1, you come out of there and you just think, at least it's not a 7-0, 6-0, 8-0. And for instance, Noni today, I look at him and I think, this guy's a serious player. And for next season, I'm excited. Mudryk, maybe not as much today, but we can build a team around Mudryk and Noni. We have 2 wingers, 2 attackers there that maybe, have something that we can build on.
And that's where kind of you were saying that interchangeability to have that.
It looks like Noni and Mudryk could be their Saka and Martinelli, and then actually Sterling could be like their Trossard. Yeah. He's the more experienced player that probably will come off the bench and come in between both roles.
And that's why I think that under Poch, and I'm pretty sure it'll be Poch at this point, there's some foundations to build off there. It's not all bad, and I know that it's probably me trying to be maybe more optimistic than the performance kind of was. But it's something. It's something.
You put Lukaku in between those 2 young, quick players. I know you don't necessarily want him back, but you put him in there. You've got
it's something. Isn't
you've got Nkuku coming in, who's more of like a second striker /10. That front 4 could, next season with only the league. Same thing that they said to us last season. With only the league and no European football to focus on.
Top 4 can. I mean, I still believe we can get top 4 next season. I think top 5 might even get Champions League because of some weird rule. But I still believe we can that will happen next year. I'm not as down and out as most fans because we've got a coach that is willing to build something, build foundations. And as you say, there is something there. This season we've not got the coaching and we've not got the confidence to show anything now. But after a pre-season, a month off, reset, get some players out, get lots of players out, get a new coach in. I think that there could be a whole world of difference next season. I really do believe that. I don't think that perhaps even if we do lose the rest of our games, if we see just glimpses, maybe that's all. Maybe that's enough now, because I just hope we get the point at home to Notts Forest. I will say that.
So you can finally
40 points.
Get above the 40-point mark.
It's a Claudio Ranieri. I'm looking for 40 points.
That's the level we've reached it now. It's kind of a level of copium where it's just, I think some fans anyway, because even Spurs fans, just want to see the end of the season.
It's been like 6 games in a row we've had 40 points as the kind of win this one and we're at 40, draw this one and we're at 40. It's been 6 games now and we're still not there. Just get us there, please, Chelsea.
Was lost but not found says Todd will relegate Chelsea.
No, he won't.
Saka Sham says Kivior was balling today.
He was.
Glenn Walker says top 4 for Chelsea. This guy
next
is
year.
Actually deluded.
Next year.
LR sends in a super chat as well. He says, how do you spend 600 millions and 4 months later say, maybe it's something we have here. Glimpses, boys. Listen. That will be the end of today, man. 3-1 that London derby.
We're back on top of the table. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying?
We're
back on top of the table. We have to put as much pressure. These guys do not feel pressure. They've got 2 whole squads, but we have to put as much pressure on them as possible. Maybe they rattle, maybe they crack, maybe they drop points. Like I say, couple draws, make it as respectable as possible. Yeah. And, if they draw 1 or 2 games, we're right back in this.
Yeah, listen, this is going to be a long season. We've got you covered here on DR Sports, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Nick, my man, unlucky today, of course, but 3-1 defeat. You got to hold them ones. But listen, guys, 3 of us have enjoyed this one. It's been really good. Tom, real. Nick, myself. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you're here. Like the channel on the way out. And Philip Imran, I appreciate you sending in that super chat at the last minute. He says, back to reality for Chelsea.
Facts.
And we will leave you with that. Take care, guys.
Peace.
See you next time.